sold out Notre Dame Stadium. The band is formed in Indy as the Irish make their appearance on the field. The Irish ready today for a meeting between two traditional college football powers. Separated by geography, size, and conference affiliation, Notre Dame and Tennessee would seem to be two very different institutions. But in the football world, they have much in common. Each has a winning tradition with an unlikely beginning. In South Bend, a Norwegian immigrant, Knut Rockne, laid the foundation for Notre Dame's unparalleled success. Around the same time in Knoxville, General Robert Neyland devoted all his energies to making Tennessee the South's premier football program. Their efforts are still evident today. The Irish and Vols have provided college football with multiple national championships, legendary players, and storied venues, all bound by familiar ritual. Today, two coaches who have returned to direct their alma mater's football program square off in what looms as a pivotal game. For Notre Dame, a win would continue their drive for the BCS. A victory for Tennessee would help salvage a disappointing season. Last year, the Irish invaded Neyland Stadium and came away with an upset win. Today, the Volunteers seek revenge at Notre Dame Stadium, where two schools separated by so much are again united. Autumn visitors to the Notre Dame campus are used to gaudy fall foliage, but this week the colors around the stadium seem especially bright. That's because many of the visitors are wearing orange, the orange of Tennessee. Vol fans appreciate college football tradition, and Notre Dame has tradition and game day pageantry in abundance. The visitors from the South hope a victory in this setting can turn around a disappointing season. Irish fans know all about turnarounds. Their team in the midst of a revival that could result in a BCS bowl bid. From Notre Dame Stadium, it's the Tennessee Volunteers and Notre Dame fighting Irish. Today's game presented by Comcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Notre Dame Stadium. Tom Hammond and Pat Hayden ready for the Vols in their visit here to South Bend. Tennessee comes in having lost 3 in a row and under 500 now for the first time this season. This for a team that was ranked number 3 in the preseason AP poll. They had an offensive shakeup on their coaching staff earlier this week. Randy Sanders resigned his position as offensive coordinator. He remains quarterback's coach, and he's upstairs today. You see him in the coaching booth. He had been down on the field. He'll call the plays with help today from head coach Philip Fulmer. So even though the Vols, Pat, have had their problems on offense, the strength of this team is really in the defense. Yeah, the defense has played superbly all year long. Really could be undefeated if their defense really kind of played both ways, if you will. You know, and the front four, I think it really leads this team. They stuff the run. They're 5th in the nation in run defense. They get after passers, as you see here. 21 sacks on the year. Only allowed 3 touchdown passes all season, largely because of this pass rush. This is a defense you cannot be methodical about. Notre Dame's going to need some big plays, and Charlie Weiss said to us yesterday, this is the best defense we've played all year, including against number 1 ranked USC. So Brady Quinn faces the toughest defense he's seen so far this season. But is Brady Quinn on a roll? During that BYU game 2 weeks ago, there were 9 total passing records set, including the 6 touchdowns by Brady Quinn in that game. And of course, he has some very appealing targets. Yeah, he's got a little help from his friends. Samardzija on one side. You see what he did against BYU? 10 catches, 152 yards. He catches a touchdown pass every 4th reception. And how about Maurice Stovall? What a year Maurice has had at BYU. 4 touchdowns, big, physical, using that size as he goes up over defenders. You know, Brady Quinn has had that sensational year, but if you look at Samardzija on one side, you look at Stovall on the other, it's got to make a quarterback pretty happy. Well, of course, Coach Charlie Weiss had an extra week to prepare for this game, a bye week for the Irish, a week in which the University of Notre Dame rewarded him with a 10-year contract extension to the year 2015. Today's game shapes up as a classic match, offense versus defense. Last year, Notre Dame was struggling, went into Knoxville and upset the Vols. This year, the roles are reversed. Back with the opening kickoff after this from your local NBC station. 64 degrees, so plenty warm, but a chance of thunderstorms, perhaps severe, before the day is over. Tennessee wins the toss, and they elect to receive. as we hope you're able to watch today's game in high definition here on NBC. DJ Fitzpatrick will tee it up to kick off for Notre Dame, and that's a look at Taylor, who is deep. Lucas Taylor, the freshman, deep for Tennessee. Fitzpatrick puts a toe to it, and the game underway. Taylor takes it 3 yards deep and comes out with it. Lucas Taylor wrestled down just beyond the 20-yard line by the special teams coverage of the Irish. And Eric Ainge, you probably know that Tennessee's had the rotating quarterback situation this season. Rick Clausen, Eric Ainge, hasn't really worked. Ainge gets his 3rd start today. And we look at our Adidas starting lineups. Anderson, who's normally the fullback, starts at tailback. They've been banged up there. Hannon, Swain, and you see up front the blockers. Huge offensive line all over, well over 300 pounds. And the first play of the game on the ground to Arian Foster. Now Foster normally is a tailback. He's been shaken up, but he does get in on the starting lineup after all and does get a carry on first down. Foster at tailback. The Notre Dame defensive line, Abby Amiri, Laws, Landry, and Talley up front. The linebackers Hoyt, Mays, and Crum. Hoyt the leading tackler for the Irish. Wooden, Ndukwe, Zibikowski, and Richardson in the secondary.
Yeah, you know, the secondary's played surprisingly well all season long for the Irish.
Flag is down as Foster picks his way for a couple of tough yards and stopped by Victor Abiamiri short of the first down. The first penalty marker went flying. Today's crew, a Southeastern Conference crew headed by Steve Shaw.
And you know, Tom, you mentioned the rotating quarterbacks for Tennessee, but Phil Fulmer told us this week he wants Eric Ainge to go the whole way today. That is the plan for Eric Ainge to play the entire game.
And a false start against the Volunteers. There's a look at Rick Clausen over on the sideline. Eric Ainge said that despite the competition between the two of them, that Clausen is his best friend and has been very helpful. In fact, Clausen wants to be a coach eventually. And Ainge said because of the quarterback rotating system, though, often when he's in the game, he presses, he tries too hard.
6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
I always felt you need one quarterback, one leader on your team, and that's what Phil Fulmer wants. He wants Eric Ainge to play well enough so his entire team will look at him as the leader.
After the step off, it's 2nd down and 11. Ainge with a toss to Foster, trying to get a block from Anderson, and not much there as the swarming Notre Dame defense sends him out of bounds. Corey Mays first to arrive on the scene.
Boy, this University of Tennessee offense has struggled, Tom. We talked about how well the defense has played, but look defensively. You know, less than 11 points a game, 9 turnovers, 4 in the red zone over the last 3 weeks, and 11 of those dreadful 3 and outs.
Those last 3 games, all losses, of course, for the Volunteers.
So, I think for Tennessee, they must keep this game close early to be able to play against a high-scoring Notre Dame team.
3rd down and 9. Ainge in the shotgun. And has a man wide open. It's Chris Hannon. And Hannon will have the Volunteer first down just beyond that yellow first down marker. Knocked out of bounds by Ambrose Wooden.
Chris Hannon is a guy, only 17 catches on the year, and more surprisingly, only 1 touchdown. A couple of years ago, he caught 7 in just 21 catches. Great speed, so you give him some cushion, and because of that cushion, they let him run that little out. Good throw by Ainge, perfectly timed for the first.
Needed 9 yards, they got 10. First down, Tennessee, as they convert a clutch 3rd and long. The numbers on Hannon this season. Back to the I formation, Foster the tailback. Gets the handoff from Ainge, finds a seam, twisting, spinning away. Zibikowski grabs him. Flag is down, and 2 more come flying in as he's tackled at the 40-yard line. Richardson and Zibikowski wrestling him down. And yes, we expect a face mask when those 3 flags came flying. So Arian Foster shaking off the injuries and getting a good run on first down for the Vols.
Got a surprising start. We were told Anderson was going to start at tailback, but a guy last week he ran for 148 yards.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st and 10.
It's on Zibikowski, number 9, right there in the middle of your screen. With the right hand in there, easy one to call. And that's the 15-yard
personal
variety.
Foul. Yep. So spot the ball in Notre Dame territory at the Irish 45-yard line. Foster in his first career start. He's a freshman from San Diego, California, redshirt freshman. Here's the toss on the sweep. Foster gets a block from Anderson, bounces off a tackler inside the 40 and tackled by Zibikowski at the 35-yard line. Another run close to the first down for Arian Foster.
You know, for as long as Phil Fulmer has been at Tennessee, this has been their personality. Power run football. Big offensive lineman. Pitch the ball to the tailback. Let him pick his way through traffic. You know, this is a formula for them, too. But, you know, just like Notre Dame played against USC when they hogged the ball with runs, you know, if you're going to beat Notre Dame, I think, is you're going to have to hog the ball on offense and control the clock with runs like that.
Foster used a good block from Corey Anderson, his fullback that time. Fake it that time. Ainge hit. Ball free. And it'll be Tennessee's ball. It was Mike Richardson that got the penetration, knocked the ball from the grasp of Eric Ainge.
Mike Richardson is a guy who's the corner, what they call their boundary corner. And this is the second time he's actually blitzed on this drive. He's on the bottom right down here, number 30. Just gets around the corner and then just kind of strips the ball from the quarterback. That was the second blitz on this very first drive. So when they get to to the right boundary and he's in the short side of the field, it looks like Mike Richardson's going to be coming a lot today.
Corey Anderson falling on the ball for Tennessee. It's 3rd down and 5. From the shotgun, Ainge. Over the head of Chris Brown is tight end and incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Clawson's going to have a word for his teammate Eric Ainge.
You know, he's part player, part coach, isn't he? That's what Eric Ainge said. He helps coach me.
So Brenton Colquitt is on to punt for Tennessee. Colquitt averaging 39.4 yards a punt this season. He's down it inside the 20 11 times.
3 inside the 5 in their last game against South Carolina.
Colquitt hangs it up. Zibikowski lets it go. It is. Boy, it had that English on it. Backspin. And it'll be down at the 6-yard line of Notre Dame. So Tennessee has to punt, but thanks to the good one by Colquitt, they have the Irish backed up. Notre Dame gets the ball for the first time. Brady Quinn will be under center, hitting 66% essentially with 20 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Our Adidas starting lineups. Walker swapped the freshman Stovall, Samardzija, Fasano. And the blockers, Harris, Santucci, Sullivan, Stevenson, and Lavore. Split backs in the backfield. Quinn fakes one way, goes the other way for a screen pass. It's incomplete, intended for Travis Thomas, who started in the backfield along with Darius Walker on that first down play deep in their own territory.
And throw too early because of these guys. The Tennessee defensive line. Harrelson, Harrell, Mahalona, and Hall. Best front four in all of college football, I believe, Tom.
And the linebackers, Gaither, Simon, and Mitchell. Simon is the heart of the defense, the leading tackler for the Vols. Wade, Hefney, Stewart, and Inky Johnson gets the start after Jason Allen injured and out for the season, only 5'9". Of course, Notre Dame has Stovall and Samardzija each at 6'5".
Yeah, and I think they're going to work on Johnson. The Irish are going to work on number 29 Johnson today.
Quinn goes screen pass to the other side. Darius Walker gets it out to the 10-yard line. Short gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Irish. Jesse Mahalona made the tackle for the Vols.
Trying to slow down that rush with 2 straight screens, and you see why. Rushing defense, you know, only allow 86 yards a game. They only give up 16 points. They just do everything well. They run, they stuff the run, they rush the passer, and only 3 rushes all year long for over 20 yards.
A brief look there. Yeah, John Chavis, the defensive coordinator and associate head coach. 3rd down and 6. Quinn with protection finds Samardzija. Clutch 3rd down conversion by the Irish as Quinn, passing from his own end zone, hits Jeff Samardzija for 9 yards and the first down.
You know, is anything out of Jeff Samardzija's range? You know, we talk about how big he is. He's 6'5" and 216 pounds, and you know he has got the marvelous hands. That's why he's the holder on field goals and extra points as well. And he uses the body and he uses those hands so well. Never uses his body.
Has the hands of a surgeon, doesn't he? Only stronger. Very good touch, but strong hands. Tennessee got back after jumping initially. Now the screen pass. Walker. No blockers, but he makes one man miss. Dives to the outside, made something nice out of it, Darius Walker.
Well, you see what Charlie Weiss, every week is a little different, right? So he knows he's got a great pass rushing team, so they've now run their third screen in this opening drive. Now, it hasn't done a lot until this play, but one thing it does do, it slows you down a little bit, particularly your blitzes.
Makes you think about it a little bit on defense, right?
Indeed. You know, every opening drive by Charlie Weiss, he scripts those first 18 plays just a little bit different from week to week, so he's very hard to prepare for.
And the first 4 plays have been all passes, 3 of them screens. Samardzija. Quinn. And his screen, Walker. And this time, lots of green in front of Darius Walker, who takes it to the 42-yard line. A gain of 13 on the 4th screen pass called in this opening series.
Yeah, you know, when you have 2 inside guys in here like this, and you're talking about Montalena and Harrell, and those defensive ends, Harrelson and Hall, you know, you just keep doing this. And I've never seen an opening drive where he had, what, 4 screen passes called in the first 5 plays.
Well, remember, against BYU, it was the defensive back laying off Stovall, so he just tossed it out to him repeatedly until they adjusted.
Well, he's a very unconventional play caller, and I think that's what's difficult to prepare. It makes him very difficult to prepare for.
Quinn with another pass and another completion. Samardzija just sitting down in the center of the Vol defense, has it just short of the first down, tackled by Omar Gaither and Jonathan Hefner.
Jeff Samardzija has body control. He's big. He's dependable. He's plenty fast. Right there in the middle of the screen, number 83 just settles down, as you said, and you know, again, it's almost like another tight end, going off balance accurately, as Brady Quinn has all season long.
5 out of 6. He missed his first pass. He's hit his last 5 in a row. No run on second and short. Instead go for the home run, and Samardzija tripped up. They got their feet tangled, and they're going to rule incidental contact. No flag.
And I think that's the right call. They did just get tangled up. The defensive back was turned, but you know who they picked on? It was Inky Johnson, number 29. A guy they feel they have a height matchup on there. He's got his head turned. Yeah, I don't think that's pass interference time.
Incidental contact.
Incidental contact.
Both stumbling down as they got their feet tangled. It makes it 3rd down and a yard. And we still haven't seen a rushing play.
But again, talk about the sequencing of plays. 4 screens, you know, dump the ball over the middle of Samardzija, then try to get your 6'5" receiver against the 5'9" Johnson.
Schwab is the fullback. Travis Thomas is the tailback on 3rd down and a yard. Thomas with a seam and lowers his head, pounds to the 45-yard line and a first down. Jonathan Wade able to come up and make the tackle as he crossed that yellow line on the screen for the first down. And today's First and 10 line brought to you by Xerox.
Kevin Simon, the middle linebacker for Tennessee, was part of that tackle, Tom, a guy who's had, in John Chavis's mind, an all-American kind of season, playing middle linebacker. He's been injured so much for the Volunteers, but really, really playing well this season.
Simon, middle linebacker. From the 45, first down. This drive for Notre Dame began on their own 6-yard line. Their first possession of the game. Draw play to Walker. Flag is down. Walker twisted to the turf at the 40-yard line.
4 screens and a draw. And Charlie Weiss said the best defense we've seen all year. He said the front 4 can get to the quarterback without help from blitzes, so we've got to slow him down. You'll see what he's trying to do.
Turk McBride made the tackle, a hold against Notre Dame. McBride considered as good as the starters up front for the Volunteers. John Chavis said he was just like a starter.
Well, you know, he's 275 pounds, but in high school he was a receiver.
Holding, number 74 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Dan Stevenson whistled for the hold.
It's one of those slow developing plays. Number 74 right there. Got a little
headlock on it.
Yeah, Heimlich maneuver. The slow developing plays where linemen have a greater chance of the hold.
First down and 20. Ball back at the Irish 45. Short drop. Quinn rifles it off the hand of Samardzija incomplete.
He still almost grabbed it. Samardzija.
Kind of turned him around, and he couldn't hold on. And Quinn loaded up on that one.
Well, and just, you know, sometimes you throw two, or again against Inky Johnson, number 29. The way these corners play, with their hips to the boundary, the Irish think they can throw a lot of slant passes against this defense, much like they did against USC. Play the same kind of coverage.
Samardzija's been very active early. He's the subject of our halftime feature today.
See how he's opened up there? He's inviting slant routes.
Here's Samardzija with another catch. This one takes him inside the 45-yard line of Tennessee. It's a gain of 12. Fellows and Gaither combined to stop Jeff Samardzija.
So, you know, throw the screens, throw the draw, and then get the ball to Jeff Samardzija. And that's not a bad game plan. Particularly when you throw it as accurately as Brady Quinn is. You know, rarely have we seen this year receivers having to adjust much with reception.
Tennessee's offense has scored only 2 more touchdowns than Jeff Samardzija by himself. Samardzija with 3 receptions already in this first drive. Third down, 8. Quinn identifying the middle linebacker, Simon. Trying to get the protection. Quinn going, crossing route, caught by Fasano, the tight end. Fasano got a block downfield and dives. Touchdown. It was Maurice Stovall that sprang in with a block just before the goal line. The first receiving touchdown of the season for Anthony Fasano on his 33rd reception.
You know, they can play a methodical game. They can play a fast game. They can play, you know, go through big plays. They can play small ball. A bunch of different ways Notre Dame can attack.
Fitzpatrick's extra point splits the middle. Well, Anthony Fasano is roommates with Brady Quinn. He hadn't caught a touchdown all season from his roommate, and Quinn said he's been hearing about it. A huddle from the officials. There was a flag down on the extra point.
Darius Walker made a good block early, and Stovall good block
Illegal
late.
formation. 6 men on the line of scrimmage on the kicking team. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll retry.
So Fitzpatrick will trot back out to re-kick after the penalty. And there's Brady Quinn, who has thrown his 21st touchdown pass of the season. On that first drive, he hit 7 of 10 for 101 yards.
How about a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio? You know, ordinarily, you know, a 2-to-1 ratio is good, 3-to-1 is phenomenal, but 5-to-1 for Brady Quinn.
So after the penalty, Fitzpatrick made no difference as he booted it through for a second time.
Okay, Anthony Fasano gets the ball in the end zone, but the early block by Darius Walker protected Brady Quinn. A late block by Maurice Stovall, and then the speed and determination of the tight end, Anthony Fasano.
Irish score on their first possession, 7-0, Notre Dame. Of his career gives the Irish a touchdown, his first touchdown of the season, as Notre Dame converted 3 third downs on that drive.
You know, this is a really versatile offense, Tom. We've seen it a lot this year. Boy, they play, as we said, slow ball or big ball. Do it a couple different ways.
That was Pat, the 3rd scoring drive of over 90 yards for Notre Dame this season.
Lucas Taylor is deep in the...
Fitzpatrick is set to kick it off for the Irish.
You know, and UT needs to keep this game close, and a good special teams play right now would help.
Special teams has not been a strong point. Here's Lucas Taylor settling under it and taking it at about the 5. Taylor fumbles the football. And Notre Dame has it.
I think it was Leo Farine, number 15, generally a nickelback, hustling down, making the play, but that was just poor ball handling by the freshman Lucas Taylor. And that ball comes
Richardson,
out.
I think,
was it Richardson?
dislodged it.
And then Farine, number 15.
Number 15, yeah. Well, we said special teams have been a sore point for the Vols. There's the rip.
Been awful on special teams. The Volunteers this year, 102nd in kickoff returns out of 117 teams.
Farine
made the recovery for the Irish. They have it at the 27-yard line of Tennessee. Samardzija's in motion. Good toss to him. And he was decked. He was going to pass to Stovall, who was running downfield, and Inky Johnson, all 5'9", 167, leveled it.
That was, that was, you call it an absolute stuff. And Samardzija, who's a baseball pitcher on the Irish baseball team, went 8-1 last year, was going to throw hoping to throw a strike there, but had no chance as Johnson came up and smacked him.
It was a backward pass. Inky Johnson made the play for the Volunteers.
So Johnson wins that play.
There's the height difference. 6'5" on the right, Samardzija, and 5'9" on the left, Inky Johnson trying to defend him. Rolling, Quinn in trouble, almost intercepted, and then incomplete. Ill-advised throw by Brady Quinn.
Tight end screen, right? Fifth screen. They've thrown 4 to the tailbacks. The fifth screen in the first quarter. This one was going to go to Anthony Fasano. Bottom of the screen. Right down here is the outside blitz. And I think it's Gaither, number 44.
Yes.
Is on the blitz. And then nearly intercepted by Jason Hall, defensive end. And you see the kind of respect that Charlie Weiss has for this front four of the Volunteers.
And why not? As you said, and I agree, the best in college football front four.
Premier.
3rd down and 18. Blitz coming. Quinn sees it. Quinn stands in the pocket, shoots it for Stovall, and it makes a tremendous catch for the touchdown. Stovall at 6'5" over the 6-foot Rashawn Fellows grabs it for a 35-yard touchdown strike. Wow.
You know, he was covered. Rashawn Fellows had him as well covered as you can, right? But these receivers have been doing this all year long. And the other thing, Brady Quinn is so accurate on his deep passes.
He knows to put it up high where Stovall can get it.
Yeah, he was talking to us just the other day. You know, he's got 3 different ways of throwing deep balls to his receivers.
Fitzpatrick extra point is good.
Brady Quinn in the last game against BYU was 5 of 6 on passes over 20 yards when the ball was in over the air. But, you know, when you have big receivers like this, the worst thing you can do is throw the ball out of bounds like we see so often. But you give him, he may have gotten away with a little push there, but he uses that big height in his body, sees the point of the ball, and comes down with just another great catch by these wide receivers. About his receiving skills, he said, here's 3 things that I do. When the ball's in the air, it's absolutely mine. That's all I'm thinking about. And he says, when it's a high one, I focus on the point of the ball, not the fat part, and then I position my body for a catch, and watch how he positions himself right there. I mean, that's about as good as you can do. And Brady Quinn said, when you're throwing the ball to Maurice Stovall, make sure you throw it high, because he's going to go up and get it.
Well, the man who called the play liked it. Charlie Weiss.
He's called a good game so far, hasn't he?
And Brady Quinn is off to a great start. 8 of 12, 2 touchdown passes already. Fitzpatrick will kick it off. David Yancey is deep now for Tennessee after Lucas Taylor fumbled that last one that led to the second Notre Dame touchdown.
Well, this is a UT team that only averages 16 points a game, a disastrous first quarter thus far.
Yancey from the 3. Makes it to the 20-yard line, no further. Farine makes the special teams tackle as a late flag comes in. Interesting, Pat, that Tennessee's pass defense had given up only 3 touchdowns the first 7 games and 2 on the first 2 drives by Notre Dame today.
One of the best offenses you're going to see in college football because they do it a bunch of different ways.
Incidental face mask on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st and 10.
That'll move the ball to the 25-yard line.
Yep, he has Farine made the recovery in the last kickoff. And Tennessee needs to mount something right now.
And of course, that's been their problem. getting an offense going, and especially in making big plays. They've just not been able to do that. They're going to run with Arian Foster. Foster makes it to the boundary for about 4 yards before he's dragged down by Zibikowski.
Arian Foster, you mentioned him being from San Diego, Mission Bay High School down there. They play awfully good football in his league. His senior year, ran for over 2,000 yards and had 6 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
It was almost 3,000, wasn't it? 2,900 rushing
I
yards,
rounded
24
down.
touchdowns. I know you have a habit of doing that.
But you know, it was one of those coaches, Randy Sanders, was going to recruit a quarterback and then saw him play and said, hey, Coach Fulmer, we need to get this guy.
Here he is again, caught from behind and stopped for a loss. Heads up play by Maurice Crum. He got penetration into the backfield and stopped Foster on Foster's 6th carry of this first quarter.
You know, you look at Tennessee, they're down 14 points, and we said Phil Fulmer's calling a lot of these plays with some help from Randy Sanders, but they're just not a dynamic team. They can't change their character. Their character is a power football running team. That's why, you know, 14-0 Notre Dame lead is disastrous. They just haven't been dynamic enough in the passing game.
Eric Ainge in the shotgun, 3rd down and 7. Good protection for Ainge, and he has a man wide open. It's caught by Jason Swain, and Swain has a first down close to midfield. He had a gain of 18 yards. Ambrose wouldn't stop him, but Wooden had given him such a cushion that it was an easy completion for Ainge.
That was a nice throw by Eric. You see the deep cut. Every defensive back thinks at that point you're going to you have to have a real strong arm to run those deep comebacks, and Eric Ainge certainly does. He hung in there in the pocket, didn't rush it, good protection, and then just drilled it.
So the Vols convert a 3rd and long. Keeps their drive going from their own 46. Foster gets another carry, breaks a tackle, racing down the sideline, got away from Zibikowski, and then with the angle, the defenders get him out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Arian Foster running down the sideline for 42 yards.
A heck of a run by Foster, and good blocking by Toania on the right side, and Douglas, a guy that was not supposed to play. Bad knee. Hurt his knee last week against South Carolina. Watch the right side, number 72, Toania. See Douglas, and then he just did a little, you know, they've run actually outside pretty successfully. Pitched the ball to Foster a couple of times. This time he just bounces it outside for the big game.
Good stiff arm of Zibikowski. Finally, Crum gets him out of bounds within Duque. It sets up a first down at the Irish 11, and Tennessee is forced to take a timeout. Maybe a little mix-up in the play calling with Fulmer and Sanders. In any event, Vols stop the clock, but they're threatening. Log on to NBCSports.com. Click on a special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central, for Pat's analysis, including his look at the major factors in the Irish success this season. Plus, you can vote for your choice for Irish MVP. It's all at NBCSports.com.
There's the number 1 reason that guy,
Charlie
Weiss. Look at this, 1 offensive touchdown in their last 27 possessions, but Eric Ainge has a good little drive going right now.
The Vols have had 5 first down plays so far, and there have been 5 rushes by Foster to gain 70 yards. Fake it to him. Ainge rolling, pumps once, gonna go out of bounds for a loss of about 4 yards. Now, Pat, it looked to me that time that Ainge was a little antsy, that he could have stepped up in the pocket and had time to find a receiver.
Yeah, he was trying to get the ball into his slot receiver right, you know, underneath the goal post. He was covered. He's trying to get this one on a quick route here, right? That doesn't come open. So this is one actually he probably should throw away and save the 4-yard loss. Just throw it toward the line of scrimmage and out of bounds, and you save that 4-yard loss.
Rick Clausen watches from the sideline as Ainge under center on 2nd down 13. Handed to Foster. Again, tough running by Foster to the 8-yard line. 3rd down coming up. Duque made the tackle for Notre Dame.
What to do with Duque, number 18 for the Irish boys. He played well as a, you see the play selection, Tennessee running the ball 10 times, just 3, and Notre Dame just the opposite. Just the opposite. But Duque has played particularly well in the red zone for the Irish.
3rd down and 7. 4 wide receivers. Foster is the lone setback. Ainge under center. Retreats to pass for the end zone and incomplete. It was intended for Brett Smith.
And Duquay did a terrific job of taking away that post route. Again, he's their strong safety, number 18. We were just talking about how good he's played. He's right in here. And he's just going to fall off. And what they do is they cone cover. It's called cone coverage, inside outside on that slot receiver. And he's supposed to take away the inside route. So well coached by Rick Minter and well played by Duquay.
So James Wilhoit will line up for a field goal. He's hit 7 of 12 this season. His longest 46. This one only 26 yards. Wilhoit's kick is good. So Tennessee responds to the second Notre Dame touchdown with a drive that results in a field goal. Barry Gaines on the sideline couldn't quite convert on third down, so they settle for 3. This was the pass into the end zone that in Duquay prevented Brett Smith from catching. Fulmer sweating it out on the sideline, couldn't get the reception, does get 3. 2 touchdown passes already today, and nothing to it.
Well, it's been like that for him this year.
And that's against the Tennessee defense that's been awfully tough.
Awesome. That's a pretty good play call right there. Changed it up this week again. Bunch of screens, little draw action, using his tight end in the end zone.
Wilhoit with the kickoff. Grimes and Horde deep for Notre Dame. Good kick picked up by DJ Horde. Horde with a nice move. And to the 40-yard line, the kicker Wilhoit had to stop him. A 36-yard return. And let's see how Brady Quinn describes his relationship with Coach Weiss.
I think the advice that Tom Brady gave me about handling Coach Weiss is realizing that his intentions are to make you a better quarterback and to make this a winning team. So many of the things that he may do or say are really just to bring the best out of you. You can describe it as tough love, but really it's something that I think our team has started to appreciate.
Getting some advice from Tom Brady, the Patriots quarterback. Darius Walker had a little seam for a moment, then hit hard and stopped at the line of scrimmage.
If you're a quarterback playing for Charlie Weiss, you got to be able to have a thick skin and respond to some hard coaching, because he treats quarterbacks a little bit differently, this Coach Weiss. But Brady Quinn was talking
to us.
Now, wait
a minute, you're a former quarterback. Normally you're coddled. That's what.
Yeah, it's precisely. But most quarterbacks are handled that way. But Charlie Weiss does do it. It's tough love, as Brady talked about. But the night before games, though, every Friday night, just the two of them get together, and Coach Weiss just kind of gets a feeling, a sense of where Brady's head at is and what kind of plays he wants to run the next day.
And sometimes they don't even talk about football.
Right. So they have about 45 minutes every Friday night just to themselves.
Draw play. Walker breaks to the outside. Gain of 8 yards on the draw play to Darius Walker.
Darius Walker is a good screen runner and a draw runner. And we talked about his patience a couple of times. This one, he just gets up right into the hole. Good block by Mark before Dan Stevenson, and then the cutting ability of Darius Walker. See the eyes, the head up, the vision. He only puts the head down right at the last moment to gain the extra couple of yards. But he is like a good quarterback. He's always looking downfield.
Kevin Simon just got him by the shoe tops, and of course, as you said, sometimes they'll work him to death. Sometimes he doesn't get many carries. As Samardzija has it broken up and incomplete. That was Jonathan Wade defending for the Vols.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Heffney, the free safety, number 33, almost got in the way of that. And if he catches this, he's gone. Trying to squeeze that one in between that, double coverage, and that's the kind of confidence Brady Quinn has. But you see the safety, Jonathan Heffney, and good coverage by Jonathan Wade. So the two Jonathans doing their part. So they had a good offensive series last time, Tennessee, and then a good defensive series, forcing the first punt.
Fitzpatrick in punt formation and Taylor deep. First, Notre Dame will take a timeout. The first timeout for the Irish. It comes with 2:13 left in the opening quarter, and Notre Dame up 14-3. Little Rocky Top being played by the Tennessee band, Pride of the Southland band across the field. And it's a fourth down with Fitzpatrick in punt formation for Notre Dame. And Lucas Taylor is deep for the ball. Fitzpatrick's first punt of the game off the side of his foot and out of bounds. He shanked that one.
Rooney, yeah. They had to punt too much this year.
No, that's right. So things looking up for the Tennessee Vols, a team that's trying to salvage a season that began with them ranked 3rd in the nation in the AP poll.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the 1929 stock crash. It just, kept going down and down and down and no longer ranked. And whereas, this is a growth stock, this Notre Dame team. Weren't highly thought of after their finish last year, but Charlie Weiss has gotten them playing some great offense, good enough defense. You see them ranked in the top 10 now.
Their highest ranking, 8th coming into today's game. Just a 14-yard punt by Fitzpatrick, so the Vols take over. Foster got the handoff from Ainge and got 2 yards. And let's go down and check in with Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
All right, Tom, thank you. Well, Rick Clausen telling me that the sideline offers a very clear perspective of the game, and he'll try to use it and do 2 things to help Ainge while he's in at quarterback. Number 1, Clausen keeping an eye on the Notre Dame secondary. What are those safeties doing? How's the blitz coming off the edge? But number 2, and most importantly, Clausen will watch Ainge's demeanor on the field and try to see if he's playing too fast. Clausen said his biggest job today is to help him slow down the game and to keep Ainge with a level head. Tom?
All right, Lewis. Down the sideline, he lays it up just out of the reach of Meacham.
And what was Eric Ainge saying to us this week? We just aren't making the plays. And that's a perfect example. A year ago, they were making plays like this, but you see it. Perfectly thrown ball by Ainge. Just outside the fingertips of Robert Meacham. He's been playing with a bad ankle all year long. But he said to us, last year we made all these plays. This year, it's been plays like that. An inch here, an inch there.
Ainge suffered the separated shoulder in the game against Notre Dame in Knoxville last year and replaced by Rick Clausen in that one. From the shotgun, 3rd down and long, picked up the low snap, sends it down, and the catch by Meacham is good for a 1st down. And one thing Tennessee has done today is some clutch 3rd down conversions. That one covered 18 yards.
Yeah, terrific catch by Robert Meacham. Coach Fulmer was saying he's our best receiver. He's been hurt with an ankle injury since the very first game.
They had him matched up on Crum, the linebacker, a matchup they like.
That is an absolutely kind of matchup you like. And so a good play call, good execution, and good catch by Robert Meacham. A guy that Coach Fulmer was saying we're expecting a lot of him today and the rest of the season.
Sophomore from Tulsa. Ainge on 1st down, again going down the sideline, trying to complete it for the touchdown. It's batted away, intended for Meacham, and batted away at the last minute by Mike Richardson.
Well, again, just one of those plays that maybe goes either way. But this year, they just have not gone Tennessee's way.
Actually, Richardson didn't touch it.
And right off the fingertips. Again, it's 2 in a row.
Right. Meacham to the sideline. Josh Briscoe is in. 2nd down and 10.
Well, this would really be key for Eric Ainge to get a touchdown on the scoreboard on this drive. Again, we need to keep this thing close.
Foster breaking a couple of tackles, gets a couple of yards. Tough running for Arian Foster. Remind you that near the end of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet players of the game from each team. Honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American Revolution. There's Jim Bob Cooter, number 15, backup quarterback, signaling in the plays as Rick Clausen listens in.
If he does a good job, they're going to give him a 3rd name, a 4th name.
Jim Bob Cooter, the junior, Fayetteville, Tennessee. 3rd down and 9. Can the Vols pull out another key 3rd down conversion? Ainge down the middle. And deflected away, intended for Jason Swain. Good defense by Farine to tip it away.
Farine, who's had a nice game on special teams. He's their nickel back and has played pretty solidly for the Irish this season in that situation. Perfect coverage, got the head turned around, timed it well. And that's probably as good as you're going to see it. So Leo Farine's made his presence known this 1st half on special teams and on nickel situations.
So the Vols lose a little momentum. That's Zbikowski lined up to receive the punt by Colquitt with only 4 seconds left in the 1st quarter. High snap, Colquitt got it. See if he can work his magic down here again. Zbikowski a fair catch. And again, about the 6-yard line. Irish had it there and were able to score.
would be happy, wouldn't he?
What a team. 35-yard punt with no return as the first quarter comes to a close with Notre Dame leading Tennessee 14-3. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium right after these messages from your local NBC station.
At Notre Dame Stadium, up in the parent section with Robin Quinn, Brady Quinn's mom, and you've been sitting here watching your son in his 29th start. And you know, we talk about tough love that happens at home, but Pat and Tom were talking earlier about the tough love that Brady Quinn's received from Charlie Weiss this year. What has that been like? What has he told you about this experience and how he has really progressed under his leadership?
Well, I think that Brady basically, a lot of it he kind of keeps to himself, but I know that he has gone through a big change in just the personalities with Charlie versus the last coaching staff. But I think it's been very good for him. I think he's learned to just respect and love Charlie Weiss as a coach. And I think that it's made him, obviously, we're having a lot of success on both sides of the ball and on the offense in general. So I just think that, you know, it's been a good thing. It's been a great thing for Brady. He's matured.
And there's a flag on the play right now. And as you look at your son, you think about him growing up through high school football. You think about his first couple of years here now. And now we're talking, if he can continue to play like this, he will be a first-round draft pick next year. When you hear those types of things about your son, I mean, what's that like for a mom?
Well, I think we just take one step at a time here at the Quinn family.
You don't dream a little bit?
Well, we don't really. I don't. I'm just wanting to see him win out this year and maybe do something phenomenal next year as far as the Heisman, or not the Heisman, but maybe.
Oh, Heisman! You mentioned it.
I didn't mean to say that. I meant his national championship.
Okay.
But anyways, but yeah, I'd like him to get through the whole next season and have a great season next year.
Out there.
We'll look at the NFL stuff way down the road.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of the game. And hey, you mentioned all those things.
Yeah.
I didn't do it, Tom.
Yeah, it's out there, Tom.
It just slipped out. It just slipped out.
Well, she's not the only one thinking about the potential.
Anthony Fasano was called for a hold. So this is a first down play. Quinn hit as he released. Samardzija with a one-hand stab.
Oh, my. I think that's, you know, he catches the easy ones, and more importantly, just Samardzija catches the hard ones.
He just catches the ball, I think is what you said.
I think that's about right. You know, a pitcher on the baseball team who used to play center field, you see why. Number 83 in the middle of the screen, that right-handed grab. Also the reason you have him hold, maybe one of the best holders for extra points and field goals.
13-yard gain. Makes it 1st and 10 from the 22.
Been doing it all year, Samardzija.
Second quarter has traditionally this season belonged to Notre Dame. In fact, since the Washington game, Pat, Notre Dame has outscored its opponents 58-0 in the second quarter. Walker on the sweep. Well defended by Tennessee. They really come to the football quickly with a pursuit. Marvin Mitchell was the one that made the first hit. Got some help from Turk McBride.
Well, we say he's been doing it all year. These great catches. That was in the opening game against Pittsburgh, and then against Michigan State. You pick a game, there's going to be at least one great catch from Jeff Samardzija. Against number 1 ranked USC for a touchdown, and we've seen 3 of them here today. 11 touchdown catches on the season. He's caught one in 7 straight games. 4 catches today. 2 of them have been actually remarkable.
And we're just starting the second quarter. Walker lost a couple of yards on that run, so Quinn back to pass, had Fasano open and threw it over his head, incomplete. Fasano was wide open.
We were talking to Brady Quinn yesterday, and Lewis just talked to his mother, Robin, there, and he was saying, you know, hey, I'm not the only good athlete in the family. He has a sister, Kelly, who plays soccer down at University of Virginia. Brady said she scored, 6 goals already this season. And
he hasn't been able to see her play, but looking forward to the trip to Charlottesville if he can make it sometime. In fact, Robin plays an integral part in his game day routine, doesn't he?
Yeah, she sends down some honey each week, and he's been doing it since, you know, Pee Wee football. Has a little spoonful of honey before each game. Seems to work.
Yeah.
Keep sending it, Mom.
Maybe we could use some. 3rd down and 12. Quinn, Samardzija shook one tackler but can't keep his balance. It'll bring up a 4th down for Notre Dame.
All right, 2 good defensive series by the Volunteers, right? You know, you're playing this high-scoring offense. You're trying to get your offense in good field position, and they've done it. The University of Tennessee's defense, the last 2 series, have stopped and stuffed the offense of Notre Dame. And there's the guy who does a lot of it, Kevin Simon.
Fitzpatrick only had 24 yards on his first punt. This one better. Taylor backpedaling, settles under it, dropped it. Scramble for it as Taylor tried to get it back. He fumbled a kickoff return, remember, that led to a Notre Dame touchdown. He was able to get on that one. So Fitzpatrick back in form, boomed at 45 yards, 2 yards on the return as he dives on the fumble.
You know, it's been a bad year on special teams for Tennessee and a bad day for Lucas Taylor.
But the Volunteers will take over, trailing 14-3. The all-new Lexus IS. Why live in one dimension? By ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. And by Xerox, helping your business grow with technology, document management, and consulting services. Tomorrow night, don't miss the big TV event everyone's talking about. The West Wing goes live. That's an all-new episode of The West Wing. It's live tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central here on NBC. From Notre Dame Stadium, Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Lewis Johnson. Second quarter, 12:32 to play, and Notre Dame up 14-3. Today's game presented by Comcast.
Eric Ainge has actually thrown the ball pretty well. His completion's only 3 for 8, but he's had 2 balls at least that could have been caught.
Play action fake. He's going to pass it here, and he does, and it's complete to the 45-yard line. Tight end Chris Brown found a seam in the defense, caught it for 15 yards.
Only the 8th catch of the year for the tight end position, and Chris Brown is a big old target at 240 pounds, number 28, right in the middle of the field. The big, tall, 6'6" Eric Ainge, you know, good vision, good field presence. That's what Charlie Weiss was saying. Hey, this Eric Ainge's got strong arms, a big guy, can see down the field, and made a nice throw there.
Ainge with a handoff that time and nothing doing for Foster. Corey Mays hit him the moment he had the handoff. It's going to be second down and 10 for the Vols. Anderson at fullback, Foster at tailback. High formation on second and long. And Ainge changing the play. Still plenty of time on the play clock.
He's got one-on-one coverage down here.
I think he was going to try to hand it off, and Foster slipped down, so Ainge is trapped back to the 35-yard line by Tom Zibikowski.
Well, Rick Minner, the defensive coordinator, is giving him a steady diet of corner and safety blitzes. We saw Mike Richardson twice in the first drive, and this time, number 9, Zibikowski, the strong safety right here at the bottom of the screen. You know, Eric Ainge felt him. Didn't necessarily see him, but felt him.
Foster slipped. I think he was supposed to get the handoff, and then Ainge was just hung out to dry.
Well, that's what you don't want to see as a quarterback. You're trying to get rid of the ball.
Loss of 10. Third down and 20. Draw play. Foster got it back to the 40-yard line, so only 5 yards. Got some of it back, but not much. Ronald Talley was ready for the draw play.
Yeah, nice play by Ronald Taylor.
So Colquitt is back out to punt, and is it my imagination, or has a Colquitt been punting for Tennessee forever?
That's incredible.
Father Craig, brother Dustin, cousin Jimmy, all putters for the Volunteers.
Are the girls in the family all Rockettes? Must be, just a rumor I heard.
Might be soccer players.
Well, he's had a, good back-to-back games punting.
On the offense, 12 men in the formation, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
5 yards stepped off against Tennessee for illegal formation. They had 12 men break the huddle.
When I do a Tennessee game, I think of General Nealon and 7 maxims of football, 6-1 on special teams. He thought that's where you really kind of win the game. That's where plays can be made, is 6 maximum of football.
General Nealon, who came to Tennessee 3 different occasions in between active service in the Army, and came as a captain, left as a general. Zibikowski dodged 2 men and goes right up the middle. Here's Zibikowski, only Colquitt to beat. Zibikowski down the sideline, touchdown.
Zibikowski does it for the second time this year. And Tom, he has scored in 3 straight games. A punt return against USC, an interception return against BYU, and his second punt return. You know, he's maybe not the fastest punt returner in NCAA, but boy, he's so strong. He makes that first guy miss, and he certainly is fast enough.
79 yards for Tom Zibikowski, who, as Pat mentioned, had a 60-yard touchdown return against USC.
And what was it, an 84-yard interception return against BYU?
Has given the Irish a defensive score as Fitzpatrick adds the extra point.
He has scored 3 different ways in his career.
A special teams score for the Irish as Eric Ainge has to watch. Now finds himself down 21-3 as Zibikowski makes his coach smile. Coach Weiss says that guy is all day tough. Return, the longest by a Notre Dame player since Joey Getherall had 183 yards against Nebraska back in 2000.
See, we had a fumble return against Michigan State last year, and then 2 punt returns this year, an interception against BYU 2 weeks ago, and played some pretty good strong safety as well. Remember on the strong safety blitz just a moment ago.
Fitzpatrick will kick off for Notre Dame. That's David Yancey, the deep man for the Volunteers. Taken by one of the up men. It's Meacham. And Meacham makes a nice return. Flag is down. Meacham run out of bounds by Mike Richardson. So Ainge with his work cut out for him now as we see what the penalty will be.
During the return, holding number 58 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10.
It's the 14th penalty in special teams this year. Let's go back to Zibikowski. He was a high school quarterback and running back, watching him bobbing and weaving. He's also a boxer as well. I tell you, the huge gaping hole right there in the middle that he seized and took advantage of.
So after the penalty against James Turner, it's 1st down for the Volunteers at the 24-yard line. Ainge fakes and then dumps it off. Here's Brown, the tight end, can't wrestle himself free. Gets it about 5 yards downfield. It's 5 or 6 as we go to Lewis.
Well, Tom, after that Zibikowski touchdown, Kevin Simon, the linebacker for Tennessee, went ballistic over here on the Volunteer sideline, slammed his helmet on the ground, his earpiece flew out, and he just screaming up and down the bench, "This is not us, this is not us." Tried to clean it up and say, "I'm not bad, but guys, this is not us. We need to score some points," saying all of that as the offense took the field. Tom?
All right, Lewis, as Foster tries to get to the corner, cut down by Richardson.
You know, I beg to differ with him, though, because they've been pretty bad in special teams most of this year. You know, a little bit better last week against South Carolina, but Phil Fulmer's talked to us this week, and they have not played good special teams like generally a Tennessee team does.
Don't you think that the defensive players have to be getting a little frustrated because they played so well?
Absolutely, all year long. And look at those ranks.
And the special teams and the offense maybe not holding up their end of the bargain.
Only 117 teams in Division 1A.
3rd down and 4 from the shotgun. Ainge pumps, pulls it down, and stopped behind the line by Corey Mays.
Corey Mays has had a nice first half. Both from the passing game and in the run game. A lot of nice plays. Eric Ainge just had pretty good early protection with good coverage. Almost gets out of his hand. And then there's he and then Brandon Hoyt coming up too. 2 of their linebackers.
Now the floodgates threatening to open for the Volunteers as Colquitt lines up in punt formation and Zibikowski.
You can't punt it down the middle. I think you have to angle it.
High punt down the middle. Zibikowski let it slip and it went right over his head. This will wind up being a great punt for the Vols. It'll be down at the 9-yard line. Almost got Zibikowski in the helmet. 64 yards. Just over the head of Zibikowski as he slipped rolls inside the 10, a 64-yard punt as the Irish take over. See, quarterback Eric Ainge on the phone to Randy Sanders, his quarterback's coach upstairs. Story Sanders resigning his job as offensive coordinator this week, though remaining on the staff as quarterback's coach and calling today's plays along with Phil Fulmer. Only a field goal to show with 8.5 minutes to go, second quarter. Flags will stop that play. First down effort by the Irish.
So it's time of this very good volunteer defense to really think about a turnover, not just kind of forcing a punt.
Dead
They
ball.
really
False start, number 50 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
Tucci is the left guard there, number 50, moving early. This is a defense that has been tough, really, most of this year to score upon, but Notre Dame has scored 2 touchdowns on the defense, 1 on special teams, but they need to come up with a turnover. And they've done that repeatedly this year, setting up their offense with a very short field. They need another one right now.
So Notre Dame now inside their own 5-yard line as they hand it to Walker. Darius Walker spun down and nearly broke it. Crosses the 15-yard line, gain of 12 on the play.
Well, Darius Walker started the season just like this. 4 straight games, opening games with over 100 yards. Again, the eyes up, the way he kind of moves his body around the hole and spins and keeps the legs moving. A lot of yards after contact for Darius Walker. He's short. We talk about pretty strong, over 200 pounds.
Second down and 3. Walker breaks one tackle, steps out of another, got away from Wade. Flag is down as he's tackled on the sideline. A first down yardage if it stands.
He can't
Jason
wait.
Mitchell, the tackle for Tennessee.
Talk to Darius when he's down.
Tennessee trainers come out to take a look at Darius Walker.
Incidental face mask, number 4 on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First and 10.
Jonathan Wade called for the face mask.
Coming right at you. Number 4 is going to flash. Jonathan Wade. And it's there. Good call by the official.
Incidental face mask.
Right down right on the sideline in front of the Tennessee bench. The Tennessee trainers were first to get there. Now the Notre Dame trainers have come to aid the injured Darius Walker. We'll take a break. 7:48 left, first half. 21-3 Irish. His parents, as always, in the stands. Jimmy and Laverne wearing the Walker number 3 jerseys.
This is a guy who's been incredibly durable in his first 2 years.
Now over on the sideline. And Notre Dame has a first down. That's Travis Thomas, who replaces Walker.
He's having a nice year, Travis Thomas.
Number 2 rusher for the Irish. And here is Schwab, the fullback. Looked like a late flag came in.
Aesop Schwab, the big, powerful fullback, freshman fullback for the Irish. A guy who's kind of coming on. Led the team in rushing against BYU. Got his first start against USC, and then against BYU, he led the team in rushing. Big, powerful guy, 250 pounds.
Incidental face mask, number 98 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
A lot of face masks.
It's Harrelson.
Yeah, there it is. Right there. Yep.
Harrelson, the very good defensive end of the Volunteers. Pretty quiet today.
They mixed it up on him pretty good.
Play action fake, and Quinn looking downfield. Finally has to dump it off, and it comes up short of Travis Thomas, incomplete.
Travis Thomas.
There's Darius Walker heading to the locker room.
You mentioned how Paris Harrelson had a quiet day. Remember, Charlie Weiss was saying to us yesterday he's going to be in for a long day because we're going to really turn our attention to Paris Harrelson. We're going to double team him. What they call chip blocking with a back. They've run a bunch of screens, some draws, but they were really concerned about him getting off too quickly. They've done a pretty good job of slowing him down.
A lot of respect from the Notre Dame offense, paying him special attention. Here's Shelton in motion on second down. Thomas used his blockers well. And looks like he's across the first down line for the Irish.
That play, Paris Harrelson get off a little late and then use one of his spin moves. I should get off late, see? Then he spins into the hole and slips. A guy who's had a fantastic year. He had 2.5 sacks against Alabama alone and 41 tackles for losses in his career at Tennessee. One of those real disruptors at a defensive end position.
Raised by his mom in Flora, Mississippi.
Jennifer Roselle.
Miss Jennifer. Quick toss to Samardzija. He can't handle it. Let's see if it's a lateral, a backward pass, or a forward pass. It is Tennessee's ball. Big break here for the Vols as Samardzija kind of fell asleep on it.
You know, earlier they ran a backward pass and he was going to throw it. I don't think they were going to do it this time, throw it, because he was going to his left. Here he is here in the slot. Yeah, that's definitely a backward pass. That's a good call by the official. Ball is absolutely live. And a heads-up play by the Volunteers.
They're able to get it before it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, and really, you know, just what their defense needed, some sort of play, a turnover, and it comes up, you know, with under 7 minutes in the first half. But exactly what they did late did Samardzija realize he should go get it. It's one of those plays I think you're coached every time you practice that play. If you can't catch it, make sure you go over and just make certain.
And Ryan Carl was the man that recovered it for Tennessee. So the Vols get a break. 37-yard line, they put it in play on first down with a run to Foster. Brendan Hoyt stopping Arian Foster, who's been the workhorse for the Volunteers today. Foster has carried 14 times for 87 yards.
I mentioned Brandon Hoyt, linebacker for the Irish, you know, leading tackler and leading sacker and forcing fumbles and tackles for loss. Brandon Hoyt has done everything well, playing every down. They don't take him off the field anymore. Plays the nickel, plays first down, third downs, plays them all pretty well.
Used to come out in passing situations and now full time. Ames finds his man. It's complete. Oh, a lot of slips on this field today. Meacham slipped but put a hand down. Was able to get first down yardage. Gain of 9 on the play. Ames to Meacham.
Yeah, you know, when you're really struggling off the corner blitz, well read. See, Hoyt's trying to get out and cover that void from the corner blitz, but perfectly read by Ainge as he throws the ball to Meacham. You see the corner blitz, you kind of pull up, dumping the ball. So good sight adjustment. Longest scoring drive this year, remarkably, 24 yards for the Volunteers.
Trying to take advantage of the turnover and get back in the game. Ames for the end zone, over the head of his man who had a step. It was intended for Brown, the tight end. He was behind the defenders, and Ames overshot him.
Boy, that's 3 near misses on deep balls with Eric Ainge twice to the outside, this one to the tight end, Chris Brown. Ainge knew he had it, and he said to us this week, that's the kind of year it's been.
50% for Ames thus far, facing a second down 10 on the Irish 24. Foster, nothing doing.
Confusion. It looked like Ames was trying to pitch it and then handed it off to Arian Foster.
Maurice Crum stopped him for a loss in the play, I think.
It looked like he was getting ready to pitch it. It wasn't there, and then maybe late, maybe not. There's Crum right smack in the middle of the hole. A guy who, in his first year as a starter, has really earned Charlie Weiss's confidence and trust.
So at the 5-minute mark, Tennessee faces 3rd and 11. Ames again has a receiver, and this time it's caught inside the 5-yard line.
That is a really good throw. A tight throw to C.J. Phaeton, number 17. You know, this guy's well covered. He's just open for just momentarily. And watch Ainge. Hangs there in the pocket, and then just a drill shot. Boy, that's a tough one, because you had the linebacker in front of you, Crum, and then the defensive back.
21 yards, Peyton, the senior, with the clutch reception. First and goal, Volunteers. 4-yard line of Notre Dame. From the eye. Foster hit immediately by Ndukwe.
Once again, Ndukwe playing good red zone, defense. Earlier in the game, knocked down a pass play on 3rd down. That time right in the middle of the hole.
This is where the Irish defense has been so tough all season.
Yeah, they've caused a lot of turnovers down there. Ndukwe, the strong safety, really wasn't blocked. Just kind of filled the hole, made the stop. Ndukwe, the high school receiver of Brady Quinn.
And Phil Fulmer and the Volunteers have called a timeout. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5 when we return. Had Phil Fulmer's headset on, talking, we assume, to Randy Sanders upstairs with the play call.
And they've got to be thinking touchdown, not field goal. Down 21-3, but they have 3 downs to do it. And they're in a passing formation with 4 wide receivers.
And Notre Dame calls timeout.
Well, not a bad use of a timeout by Notre Dame. I mean, Tennessee shows their hand in the spread set. Up 21-3.
So 1 each side for the final 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Range back over to the sideline. Gold-shirted Notre Dame student section. Charlie Weiss and the Irish leading 21-3.
Charlie said to us yesterday he saw 2 different scenarios. He said it could be tight the entire way, or he said if we get a couple early scores and create some separation, maybe take the fight out of these guys, and they've been struggling.
But a heads-up play by the Tennessee defense to fall on a backward pass and recovering it has given Tennessee a chance with 4:04 on the clock in the first half.
Interesting to see if they're going to change this formation. Last time, remember, it was 4 wide receivers.
The chess game going on between offense and defense. Play clock starts now.
Same formation.
Foster is the only running back. Ains gives to Foster, hit in the backfield and driven back. Maurice Crum met him at the pass and drove him back.
Well, they thought if they spread him out, maybe they could slip a little draw or trap inside. But now when you have 40, Maurice Crum, who's going to come into the screen now, absolutely well-designed blitz, and then Maurice Crum just stuffs that inside trap. So now you have 2 chances. You're going to set an Irish player down. Maurice Crum, who's earned the trust of Charlie Weiss, as he was saying to us this week.
Loss of 2 on the play. The running play to Foster. His last 5 carries has a net of 0 yards as they've cut him off. It's Trevor Laws, player that's down. Notre Dame defensive lineman. Laws, the junior from Burnside, Minnesota, who was the #1 ranked high school wrestler back in his days at Apple Valley High School.
145-5 as a wrestler. Love his nickname here, though. The Rodent.
He has that leverage, though, he puts to good use in the defensive line. 3rd down and goal, 7-yard line. No pressure on Ainge. Now he wings it into the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown. In traffic, it was Brett Smith able to hang on for the Tennessee touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown pass.
There, watch Brett Smith, number 9, who works the back of the end zone. He's a man in the slot, then he runs a little out. It's not open. He just keeps on working. And then a patient Eric Ainge. One of the things they've been trying to say to Eric, or coach him, don't rush it, don't rush it. Incredibly patient there. Drill shot to Brett Smith. to get their 9th point on the board. So that's a good drive after the fumble recovery by Tennessee.
Will Hoyt with the extra point attempt, which is good. So Tennessee converts the turnover into 7 to get back into the game. It's 21-10 as we check in with Jimmy Roberts in New York. All right, Jimmy, looking forward to that feature on the Shark at halftime.
He was talking to us a couple weeks ago. He's of Serbian descent. His grandparents came to New York in the 1940s, then moved, well, they thought they were going to move to Detroit, but somehow got sidetracked,
right.
He told us. Ended up in Gary, Indiana. Said he learned his work ethic from his grandfather, worked in the mills. Really interesting guy. And a heck of a year, he said.
Pat, that touchdown by Tennessee broke that second quarter string. Notre Dame had outscored its opponents 65-0 in the second quarter since the Washington game. And they got the Volunteers back in it.
And the Volunteers need another good defensive series right here.
Will Hoyt will kick it off. Grimes and Horde are deep. Horde is going to stay in the end zone for the touchback. So Darius Walker, we saw him leave the field a while ago. Let's get a report from Lewis.
Well, Tom, just a little bit of information here. Before he left the field, a lot of attention paid to that right shoulder. I asked if he was going out for x-rays. That was not confirmed. I was told that he would have that right shoulder adjusted. That was the word used, adjusted. Would not be back for this half, and we'll see what happens in the second half. Quick update on Trevor Laws, who limped off the field a few moments ago. Only about 30 seconds of attention for him. A little extra black tape on that right ankle, and he's good to go. Tom?
All right, Lewis, you saw the graphic. The Tennessee defense has stiffened the last 3 Notre Dame possessions. Here's Quinn on first down, setting up that screen again. This one to Thomas.
Played by Kevin Simon, that middle linebacker. John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, saying he's playing like an All-American.
First reception of the season for Travis Thomas, but it's short of a first down, which is marked there by that yellow line. 1st and 10 line brought to you by Xerox.
A chance to talk to Kevin Simon this week, and he was talking about Brady Quinn. Said what a different player he is this year. He said, decisions he's making, the accuracy of his throws, the way he looks off defenders.
Tennessee coming with a blitz. Quinn sacked. And there's Harrelson with a loss of 6 as we finally hear from the great Tennessee player.
Yeah, Paris Harrelson just kind of spins and turns and works right up the middle, just beats number 73, Mark LaVore. And Harrelson was a guy, remember Charlie Weiss said to us yesterday, hey, well, he's going to have a long day because we're going to be double teaming, chipping him, putting a tight end over him. It spins and churns and right into the face of Brady Quinn.
The matter that time is he threw Quinn for the loss. And now it's 3rd down and long.
So right down here again, playing that defensive end.
Quinn complete to Shelton, and Matt Shelton with his first reception of the game, but well short of first down yardage.
That's 3 good defensive series right now for the Volunteers in a row. Force a punt, still have a timeout. Offense just had a nice drive, good rhythm, so things going the Volunteers' way right now.
And Tennessee stops the clock with 1:39, using their final timeout of the half. So a matchup today of 2 coaches who return to their alma mater to direct their respective football programs. Charlie Weiss, a Notre Dame student, didn't play football. Somewhat of an entrepreneur. Wow, now that's a 70s look.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It is.
Charlie Weiss talking to Brady Quinn, and of course Philip Fulmer, who played offensive guard for the Volunteers. 1972 grad, returning to his alma mater to direct their program. Won a national championship for Tennessee and that great Volunteer football tradition. In fact, they had the list of notable coaches that have returned to their alma mater in Division 1A to direct the program.
Some pretty successful coaches here. Carl Durrell at UCLA has his Bruins playing particularly well this season. Ranked number 5.
Fitzpatrick on 4th down in punt formation. Hefney deep for Volunteers. Hefney has it at the 41. Comes straight up the middle, crosses midfield, and then wrestled down with John Carlson on special teams, first to hit him. Only a 38-yard punt, and then 10 yards on the return by Hefney. Jonathan Hefney, and Tennessee with 1:26 to try to get something done. They have no timeouts left.
Yeah, but 1:26, plenty of time. I mean, you know, all your throws and even some draws and screens. Look like Rick Clausen is actually calling plays there. He's the backup quarterback we talk so much, but with 1:26, still can use the entire field. Clock stops after first downs. Eric Ainge is gaining some rhythm, isn't he, Tom?
As is the ball offense. Pressure. Ainge stepped up and threw it the wrong way. He had the man wide open. He had Hannon open.
Derek Landry got some quick early pressure on Eric Ainge. Right down here is the guy he's looking for, Hannon, as you mentioned. But watch the quick pressure, the spin move by Derek Landry. And then just an off-balance throw by Ainge. Talking to...
Oh, had he been on target to Hannon, it would have been 6. Instead, it's 2nd down and 10. Ainge down the sideline over the head of Swain, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10. Swain drawn with Ndukwe.
We've seen this reaction from him a bunch because he's been, you know, just about that close with a bunch of throws. Big play for Eric Ainge right now on 3rd and 10. Starts with protection. The guy that's really causing some havoc right now is inside, and that's number 66, Derek Landry. Last 2 plays.
From the shotgun. Ainge is going to run. He has a lot of room. Eric Ainge racing for the sideline, ducks out of bounds to stop the clock. After a 13-yard gain and a volunteer first down.
What a great block by Rob Smith, number 52, right in here. Watch it. We're talking about Derek Landry, right? The spin move, he just takes it right inside. He creates that lane. And the athletic Eric Ainge, a heck of a high school basketball player and a pretty good athlete, picks up a first down. So great block by Smith, allows Ainge to pick it up.
Stops the clock at 1:06. Had troubles in the offensive line. In fact, David Ligon starting at center today, their 4th starting center of the season. Did a good job there. First down for Ainge. Chased from the pocket and throws it away.
We're going to call that one.
That'll be intentional grounding. Has to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Once you leave, you know, the box, the tackle, you have to get it to the line of scrimmage or have a receiver in the neighborhood.
Intentional grounding, number 10 on the offense. The penalty will be loss of down at the spot of the foul, 4th down.
Okay, here's the box. You know, once you leave that box, you've got to get it to the line of scrimmage, or as I said, have that the guy close to him. He's under duress.
It is a loss of down.
And there is no receiver anywhere near them. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage either, did he?
No. So spot the ball just short of the Tennessee 49-yard line. Now it's 2nd down and 26. Draw play, Foster. Didn't fool Notre Dame. Got some of it back before Derek Landry made the stop.
The clock continues to, you know, tick away.
Derek Landry, release Crum on the tackle.
Got some tall, athletic receivers, and you know, where he's been dangerous when he's been hot. Eric Ainge is down the middle of the field, usually to a slot receiver.
3rd down. Deep, threw it into coverage, and it's nearly picked off. Richardson had the good coverage of Phaeton, and then Ndukwe nearly was able to pick it off.
Did Mike Richardson have terrific coverage? Just played it right underneath it, just cut off the throw. There was just no lane there to get squeezed the ball into Phaeton. You know what Ainge is trying to do? Just trying to make something happen when, you know, it's got 3rd and long, but great coverage by Mike Richardson.
So Colquitt on 4th down and 26 seconds on the clock is in to punt. outside punting, but of course Zbikowski had the 78-yard return for a touchdown. Zbikowski calls fair catch, makes it about the 6-yard line. It was a 40-yard punt for Colquitt. And now 19 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, but Charlie Weiss is a little concerned. He does have the 21-10 lead, but his offense started out real well, those 2 quick touchdowns, but they've really haven't done a lot offensively since those first 2 drives.
And here Quinn will take a knee to bring the half to a close. Well, Notre Dame hot early, and then the Tennessee defense stiffened as we go down to Lewis Johnson.
Okay, Tom, thanks a lot. Well, Coach, you called them the scariest 3-4 team you'd seen in a while, and you've gotten a couple scores up on them. You said that was important. What concerns you about the second half?
Well, I mean, they're playing solid on defense, and they're running the ball some. We were inconsistent on offense in the second quarter, and we're going to have to get that straightened out in the locker room.
Concerned about Darius Walker. We don't know his status at the moment. He left the game.
No, I sent him in to go ahead and get what he needed to get done now, so I had him ready to go for the second half. I could have had him fixed out here, but I told him to go ahead and get him ready so I have him for the start of the third quarter.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Tom?
All right, Lewis. So Brady Quinn touchdown drives his first 2 possessions. They got the punt return for a TD from Zbikowski. Notre Dame 21-10 at halftime. Now it's time for the Lexus halftime show. Let's join Jimmy Roberts in our New York studios. In the second half, we'll get underway with Tennessee kicking to Notre Dame as Will Hoyt tees it up. And Coach Weiss will send Grimes and Hoard deep to receive Will Hoyt's kick. There they are. Today's game, Tennessee Notre Dame, presented by Comcast. And the second half will get underway. Will Hoyt's kick. Line drive, squib kick, scoots into the end zone and out of the end zone for the touchback. And Notre Dame will take over at the 20. Gives us a chance to look at our first half statistics, brought to you by Sirius.
Pretty even. Look at the total yards. Very even for Tennessee and Notre Dame. And then time of possession, Tennessee's held the ball more. Usually that's a Notre Dame trait. They've averaged 8 more minutes of possession than their opponents. So, if Tennessee needs to get another good defensive stop, just like Lewis was talking about it just a moment ago, but the last 3 defensive series by the Volunteers have really been excellent.
Darius Walker is back in the game. He's at the tailback spot behind Aesop Schwab, who is the fullback, on a first down play. And Quinn backs up and changes it. Has 3 on the play clock. Fake it to Walker, and Quinn's going across the middle. Fasano clamps down on it to the 45-yard line.
He's down. Fasano is hurt.
Stewart and Simon combined to hit him after the 25-yard reception.
It was kind of an awkward catch. He kind of jumped up and kind of snatched it. He took it to his body, but it was Fasano right down here. A good coverage by the middle linebacker Simon, just right over the top of him. Comes down on his right shoulder. These quarterbacks really had to make some tight throws because very good coverage by both teams. It came down on looked like his right shoulder. Well, the roommate of Brady Quinn back up.
And got a pat from Simon on the helmet. That was a nice gesture by Kevin Simon. Good respect for the big tight end who goes to the sideline. Well, that's it.
That was hurt. Yeah, there was good coverage that time by Kevin Simon, and just kind of a real good catch by Fasano.
Ball at the 45. First down for the Irish. Walker wrestled back and thrown for a loss.
Jason Hall, number 94.
So Walker gets a rude greeting after having to leave early due to injury in the first half. Thrown for a loss on his first carry of the second half.
Well, there's the offensive stars from Notre Dame. Brady Quinn, an efficient first half. Got off to a very good start with the 2 touchdown passes. Darius Walker, saw him get injured. Ran a bunch of screen passes. Jeff Samardzija not gotten into the end zone, which he's done in 7 straight games.
Second down and 12. Quinn changing the play. Play action fake. Quinn had to dodge a rusher, but got it to Carlson. That's Fasano's backup at tight end. Makes the reception, only his 5th of the season, and then tackled by Jason Hall.
You know, this offense of Notre Dame gets, you know, all the wide receivers and the quarterback get all the glory, but this offensive line does a pretty good job of protecting Brady Quinn for most of it. Look at Sullivan, number 78. You see 74, Stevenson and Bavor, and on the left side, Ryan Harris. All those guys, you don't have great offensive statistics if your offensive line's not playing well.
8-yard gain, setting up a 3rd and 4.
Well, Matt Shelton down here at the bottom of the screen is one-on-one, and they like to throw the ball to him deep.
Quinn looks the other way, deflected into the air and incomplete. Good tight coverage that time by the Volunteers, and they'll force a punt.
You know, Tommy, we talked to Notre Dame coaches yesterday, I should say coach, Charlie Weiss. He you know, really thought they were going to be able to throw some slant patterns, but Tennessee has done a great job of taking those inside plays away. Now, Charlie Weiss also said, hey, I think I can make something happen on special teams. So he thinks of special teams.
Well, that already has happened once.
Yeah, indeed. And you can run a fake punt or something like that. This is the area of the field to do it.
Jason Mitchell made that Tennessee defensive play. So Fitzpatrick punts it toward Jonathan Hefney. He says get away from it. Makes a good Notre Dame bounce. And it will be down about the 6-yard line. A 43-yard punt with no return. But Tennessee will have it after holding on defense to start the 3rd quarter. They're down 21-10. First possession of the 2nd half for the Tennessee Volunteers. They begin from their own 6-yard line after holding Notre Dame defensively on the first series of the 2nd half. Ames rolling out. He's got a lot of room to run if he wants, and he will. And Ames sliding on his knees, takes a hit from Zibikowski and draws a flag.
You're going to slide, right?
Well, it's kind of a half slide on your knees. It didn't much get the job done, did it?
He was kind of in one of those tweener lanes.
Yeah,
He was thinking about throwing it, but he saw all that green turf out in front of him and decided to run it.
After the play, personal foul, number 18 on the defense, helmet-to-helmet contact. That'll be a 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
Called in Dukeway for helmet-to-helmet contact. Should have been Zibikowski, yeah. Dukeway's trying to get out of the way. Helmet-to-helmet contact, good call.
Yep.
So put the ball at the 31-yard line. 1st down, Tennessee. Swain in motion. The handoff is to Foster. And slung down by Corey Mays. And how did the Tennessee offensive stars fare in the 1st half?
Finish it this time. Eric Ainge, you know, had a nice 1st half, throwing that good touchdown pass to Brent Smith. Foster with 87 rushing yards. That's a very productive 1st half for a guy we didn't even think was going to play. And then Meacham, I was expecting Meacham to be more of a factor in the pass game. Kind of had an opportunity just out of his reach on 2 long passes.
2nd down. Ainge did a little shuffle and then tried to hit Peyton, who was open, and missed him.
Yeah, those are the kind of throws you just have to make. And you see the emotion again of Eric Ainge with his head down. But as quarterbacks, you just have to kind of keep an even keel. See the rain beginning to fall.
So there's the rain as Volunteers face a 3rd and long. 3rd down and 9. 6 of 11 on 3rd and long today. Ainge will line up in the shotgun. Lofts it down the sideline. And it's broken up, intended for Peyton.
And Dukeway and Wooden. Ambrose Wooden was the corner, but Dukeway, who's really played well this game, came over late to knock the ball away. Good coverage by Wooden. Absolutely. I mean, Ambrose Wooden has had pretty good coverage all season long.
Got his head turned around, perfect coverage. So Colquitt is on for his 6th punt of the day. Zbikowski awaits it.
Good opening defensive series for the Irish.
High booming punt. Zbikowski right at the sideline, dodging, darting, spinning. Anything else you saw?
No, that's good. I dodging, Bobby.
Weaving. Marvin Mitchell made the special teams tackle on Zbikowski. Irish take over, 21-10 game. A little bit of rain coming down, light rain at the moment. Charlie Weiss, being the ultra-prepared man that he is, had his team practice with wet footballs this week. On Thursday they practiced, and earlier in the week it rained on Monday when they were out for practice anyway. So, as usual, he is prepared for any eventuality. Anthony Fasano has reappeared back in the lineup for Notre Dame after leaving an injury early on. Here's Darius Walker whirling around to the 39-yard line.
Well, we've talked about how well Tennessee's defense has played the last 5 series. You see that. Last 5 series, they've put the punt, fumble, and 2 more punts, and just 2 first downs in the last 5 possessions. So, led by Kevin Simon in the middle and Paris Harrelson on the outside. They've really done a nice job.
2nd down and 6 for the Irish.
It's a real pleasure when you can rush the quarterback with just your front 4 and get those linebackers in coverage. And for the most part, Tennessee's able to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to distort your defense to get pressure. Here's Walker putting some pressure on the Tennessee defense with a run to midfield. Darius Walker's best of the day, 11 yards.
Well, just, you know, Turk McBride took a real inside stab here, and it created an absolute lane for Darius Walker. Good block by Aesop Schwab. And then just a good, tough run by Darius Walker.
Gaither and Stewart finally stopped Darius Walker. Setting up a 1st down right at midfield. Draw play, Walker again. Made a nice move, little juke move there. Doesn't get him free though. Simon got a piece of the tackle and Hefney got the other half.
Remember that in the first half they started out with a whole bunch of screens. In the second half, really in the second series at least, they're running up a whole bunch of draw plays. Darius Walker, and he's a really good draw runner. We talked with Charlie Weiss about Darius Walker. We talked about his patience. He doesn't seem to rush things. Picks his hole calmly. Turk McBride going across the way.
Fake to Walker, and Quinn looks for the end zone. Samardzija caught it. Can't cover him any closer. No. Inky Johnson had great position. A 32-yard reception as Samardzija, with that 6'5" frame and those strong hands, goes up to clamp it.
Yeah, when he's covered, he's open. And again, just give the ball, keep the ball in play, let him jump up and catch it. His left foot was down. Yeah, his left foot was out of bounds. He was not in. I don't know if they're going to review it or not, but his left foot comes down out on the white paint.
And in the replay booth, they'll take a look at it.
That should not be a completion. But Inky Johnson, one of the things that the Irish wanted to do was test him on slants and deep routes, and indeed they have, but he's responded pretty well.
Play is being reviewed.
That was pretty clear cut, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty certain that it was out of bounds.
But still, just the body control and the discipline of Samardzija. Left foot, it's on the line. Wasn't it interesting what Brady Quinn was saying yesterday, how he throws different deep balls to Sheldon and to Stovall and to Samardzija.
Hits them in different ways.
Yeah.
I don't know how he has time to think of all
that's
that.
it. That's the best shot of
there's the
yeah.
That's the definitive look right there.
We said with Samardzija, a lot of times you'll try to just really actually underthrow him. That one wasn't, but he can underthrow him because he adjusts so well. Matt Shelton, he said, we throw him a deep ball, boom, he just try to make him run under it.
Still waiting for the word. It looks fairly obvious. It has to be definitive video evidence. That's eavesdropping there on the replay booth.
I don't know. I think it was pretty easy. So.
Steve Shaw shaking his head in agreement. Whatever it is, he's going to announce it.
After review, there is indisputable video evidence that the receiver's foot was out of bounds. Yep. Therefore, we have an incomplete pass. We'll reset the ball. 3rd and 1 at the 41.
This is why I like replaying college football.
Yeah,
because you get it right. Absolutely, you get it right. So good job by the officials, the replay official. Left foot is down. You can see it right there. Any part that touches that white line, which left foot is. Well, they got it right. You know, the Irish have been a really good short yardage team this year as they find themselves in 3rd and 1.
And a good, with 2nd and 1, a good opportunity to take one down the field. And so now they can try to pick up the 1st down only a yard away.
One of the reasons of a good short yardage team is Aesop Schwab, the fullback, does such a good job of lead blocking, number 44.
Thomas is the tailback. He has the handoff, bounces it to the outside, lowered his head, and appears to have the 1st down.
We're talking to Charlie Weiss yesterday about Travis Thomas. He said, you know, he's got a defensive mindset, likes contact, one of those running backs that really likes contact, and kind of a slasher and a good short yardage run.
Junior from Washington, Pennsylvania, who got into the doghouse last year with some fumbles. He's gotten much more of an opportunity this year and is making the best of it.
Yeah, you know, I give him a lot of credit for the persistence, and you know, he could have transferred, but he didn't hang his head, played some great special teams, worked himself back into the rotation, and a pretty good contributor, particularly against USC a few weeks ago.
High school All-American from Washington High School, Washington, Pennsylvania. Walker to the 35. Jason Holt stops him there.
Darius Walker cannot wait for Saturdays because his Friday class schedule, he was telling us a couple weeks ago, you know, he's got statistics, and then he's got accounting, and then introduction to jazz. He says, yeah, I really look forward to that introduction to jazz class because after getting beaten up on all week at practice, I need some soothing music.
He's thoughtful, soft-spoken.
Delightful.
Might want to go into some theater, he says, sometime in the future. Handed to Darius Walker, breaking to the outside, made a man miss, and caught from behind short of the 1st down. Jason Hall and Hefney combining.
You know, this Irish, we've talked about them hogging the ball. You see what they average, you know, on this year? You know, 8 plays and drives, almost 70 yards. They've had, you know, 9 drives of, or 13 drives of 9 plays or more. You know, so they can strike quickly, which we've seen sometimes this year, but when you know, they need to grind it out, they can do that as well.
And the 8th play of this drive upcoming. It'll be 3rd down.
And they bring Travis Thomas back in a short yardage situation.
Thomas hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Simon and Mahalona.
Yeah, Mahalona, number 55, got real quick penetration. Mahalona, number 55, right in there. Watch how quickly he gets in. Just kind of, and then blows up the fullback Schwab. And Travis Thomas has nowhere to go. So terrific play by Mahalona.
So 4th down and 5, and Charlie Weiss is going to go for it. 4th down and 5 at the 34-yard line of Tennessee.
I want to tell you, most of the time, they really like Samardzija, who's down to the bottom of the screen.
Quinn under pressure and sacked. Jason Hall.
6th sack of the year for Jason Hall. A guy who has really played well for them the last 3 weeks up here. Jason Hall just comes off the corner, just keeps moving, keeps turning. And, you know, he had Samardzija open, and Brady Quinn knew it. He had Samardzija open for the first down. Another good defensive series by the Volunteers.
Now they need to try to get some offense. They sack Quinn, but they're down 21-10. Quarters by Tennessee fans, has his Vols right in this one, and as he said to us the other night, Pat, we built up some equity here, and why not? He is the winningest active coach by percentage for those that have a minimum of 10 years.
Yeah, that's awfully good company. That list. His 32nd year in the program as a player and as a coach. Won a national championship, a couple of SEC championships as well. So what a tough conference. If you're in the SEC, you got a tough game every week, you know?
A native of Winchester, Tennessee. Just wiped off the football as the rain is continuing to come down. Not in torrents, but steady. Foster, cut back, got a block, and now gets to the sideline. Foster shoved out of bounds after he picked up the first down by Mike Richardson, but it's a gain of 26 yards as Foster reverses his field for the big game.
Well, I don't know whether Arian Foster went over the grotto and lit a candle before the game. I doubt it, but this is a guy that was not supposed to play and has played magnificently. Just kind of bounces this thing outside, but then Ndukwe kind of forces him to reverse field. Remember, you see how he changed hands, so he has the ball to the outside for some security. And but for the saving push by Mike Richardson, he goes. So good speed and vision by Arian Foster.
And over 100 yards rushing, 112 yards for Foster.
His first start last week, 148 yards. Did have that fumble down by the goal line.
Right. Well, they're trying to keep the football dry. Umpire has a towel over it. Just the second player to rush for over 100 yards versus Notre Dame this season. The other was Reggie Bush, who put up 160. Fake it to Foster. Ames lays it up. Meacham has it.
Yeah, that's the catch. Robert Meacham coming on just like Phil Fulmer said, hey, this guy has got to be a feature guy in our offense. And they're giving him some chances today. Missed some long passes. This one well thrown by Eric Ainge. Perfectly timed in the corner route to Meacham. The guy who's got some rodeo in his background. His dad was a cowboy.
17-yard gain, first down, Tennessee. Foster ducking under the defense. Slides to the 14-yard line.
Meacham grew up in Tulsa, as you said. A guy whose father used to rope calves. He had his own horse for a while himself.
Second down and 8 for Tennessee.
Tennessee's defense has really kept this team in the game.
Play action fake and Ainge surveying the field, dodges the rustlers. Now will slide down after a gain of a couple of yards. Nobody open downfield. Ainge tucked it under. Yeah, did manage to avoid a loss.
Right, a judicious play by Eric Ainge. Don't force this thing down there. Don't try to do too much. Get nothing downfield. You know, just stepping up. And then he gets down.
I think the key phrase there you used, Pat, was don't try to do too much, which has been his downfall. Third down. Ainge again will run. Coverage good downfield by the Notre Dame secondary, so he has to run again. Derek Landry and Brandon Hoyt stop Ainge on the scramble.
You know, as well as Phil Fulmer's defense is playing, I think this is the right play. You know, attempt to kick the field goal. And everybody likes to see guys go for it, fourth, don't throw them on the end zone. But down 21-10, momentum's changed. The defense has been playing great.
This will be a 30-yard attempt by Will Hoyt. And no problem as he boots it through the raindrops right through the uprights. Tennessee's defense, as Pat said, keeping them in it. They're within 8. Tennessee Volunteers, today's game brought to you by Comcast.
Well, this UT defense has been as advertised, don't you think, Tom?
It looked like a long day for them, the first 2 possessions by Notre Dame. Since then, nothing.
Charlie Weiss didn't think it was going to be easy, and he's got a ball game on his hands.
Will Hoyt kicks off. And this is DJ Horde. Tripped up, falls forward to the 22-yard line. So Brady Quinn, who has shown such remarkable improvement this season.
That's pretty good, wouldn't you say? 66% completion after going 54% last year. And, you know, throwing everything, to me, he's been so accurate on the long balls. Against BYU a couple weeks ago, was 5 of 6 on passes in the year, more than 20 yards. So he's throwing the short ones well, but I think even more importantly, the long ones.
The long one really wasn't part of his arsenal in the previous 2 years. Down play, but they've been stifled with the Tennessee defense of late. Swing pass to Darius Walker for a loss. Harrelson got outside and got Inky Johnson, preventing them to get to the sideline, and the 2 combined to throw Darius Walker for a loss in the play.
You know, just the way he kind of sees this, reads it. Harrelson right down the line. We met with him yesterday. He's not the biggest defensive end you're ever going to see. They list him at 6'2", 248, but boy, he has some quicks and some hustle.
And Inky Johnson has played well today, too.
Absolutely. Well, they were going to try to pick on him, but Inky Johnson has responded. 2nd
down and 14. Quinn's going down the sideline for Stovall. Can't get there, and Jonathan Wade shakes his head no, and
he's right.
He did deny.
You know, we've seen him talk about Inky Johnson, and here's number 4, Jonathan Wade, on the Tennessee track team. I mean, these guys, neither one of them were starting corners when this season started. And talking to John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, said, hey, I know how good my front 7 was going to be. Wasn't sure how good the secondary was going to be, but boy, he has played particularly well, those defensive backs.
Wade, the former Louisiana high school 100-meter champ, set a record in the 200. Quinn rolls to his right, sets his feet, throws back on the screen. Walker. Not much blocking there, and well short as he's tackled at the 25-yard line by Gaither and Morley.
Another good defensive series for the Volunteers. Hall and Harrelson and Harrell and Mahalona in particular up front. And then those 2 corners, Johnson and Wade, which we've talked about, have played pretty doggone well.
Hefney is deep to await the Fitzpatrick punt.
You know, if Tennessee had any offense, explosive offense those first 7 games, well, you can see why they could have been the top 10 team.
Fitzpatrick, Hefney has to come up to get it. Nearly fumbled it. Still on his feet. And then swamped at about the 44-yard line. Tennessee gets the ball back, and now they're only down a touchdown and 2-point conversion. But the last 7 possessions have been frustrating for Brady Quinn and the Notre Dame offense.
I think they're frustrating anytime you play against this Tennessee defense. 24 plays, only 125 yards, very uncharacteristic for a Charlie Weiss offense.
Well, we said this would be the best defense Notre Dame had faced this season. That was not borne out the first 2 possessions, but every drive since. 1st down, and Ainge wants a big gainer and throws it over the head of Swain. It carries him out of bounds. That's one of the things that you've praised Brady Quinn for, is keeping the ball in play on the deep throws.
Can't catch it otherwise, right?
Right. And there you see the 1st down line marking 1st and 10. It's brought to you today by Xerox.
You know, these receivers in college football today are just so doggone good and athletic. Just, keep the ball in bounds on those deep balls and give them a chance. Either the pass interference or one remarkable catch after another. We've seen the Notre Dame receivers do it all season long.
Ainge has hit just 1 of his last 7 pass attempts. Rolls to the right and delivers a strike that time. Caught by Smith, and he's out of bounds with 1st down yardage. Took a hit into the Tennessee bench.
Did they throw a flag?
I didn't see it. Here's a flag down.
The official right there may have called that late hit.
I still don't see the flag, but I'm told there is one.
I saw him reach back there for something.
Be on Wooden. No, there's the flag right next to the football.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 18 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
They call it on Ndukwe. They've called it twice on Ndukwe.
Who did Ndukwe make mad on that officiating crew?
Yeah, I think it was actually Ambrose Wooden, wasn't it?
I believe it was.
Yeah, that's Ambrose Wooden.
22, not 18.
Yeah, Ndukwe
That's twice.
He's got to get out of the neighborhood.
First time it was Zibikowski that did it, and Ndukwe called. That time Wooden, the guilty party, and Ndukwe's number called. In any event, it helps the Tennessee drive immensely. It puts them on the 26 of Notre Dame with a first down.
And just a team with rising confidence. This Tennessee team. Eric Ainge has not rushed things. That was he was pressing early in the year when he was going through that quarterback rotation. I think Phil Fulmer's doing the right thing. Just hey, live with him, good and bad. Hang in there with the guy. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to make some great plays. He's only a sophomore. But you have to go through some tough times, much like Brady Quinn did as a freshman.
Don't exactly know what transpired there. In any event, the situation remains the same. From the 26, first down Volunteers. Ainge changing the play. Pretty tough down here on the student end of the stadium. Hand off to Foster.
Nice gain by Aaron Foster. Good audible by Eric Ainge. You always talk about the audibles and the passes when you throw the ball downfield after you see those guys doing it. But these quarterbacks in today's elite programs calling a lot of these run audibles, the pass protections, the run blocking schemes. There's just a lot on these guys. And Eric Ainge is managing the game pretty well right now. Wouldn't you say?
I'd say so. And he has Tennessee tying for what could be a tying touchdown and two-point conversion. Second down and 6. Foster bouncing back. Managed to shake the first two, but not Corey Mays.
Another corner blitz by Mike Richardson. Number 30 who came off the corner.
Lost 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, watch up here. This is Mike Richardson. Watch him right off the corner. He's the first guy that gets into the backfield and kind of slows this thing. Otherwise, I think he runs right off tackle for a nice little gain. But Mike Richardson, who opened the game with a couple of corner blitzes, does it again there effectively.
So now it's third down and 10.
He's covering the receiver at the top. Okay, there goes Ambrose.
Ainge rifles complete to the 3-yard line.
Rifles is the right word. This is, excuse me, Tom, this is what they like about Eric Ainge is the strength of his arm. Wonderful protection by this big old offensive line. Phil Fulmer, an offensive lineman, former offensive lineman himself. Look at that protection. He pumps twice and then just drill shot. And I tell you, you have to throw these down the middle with a little grease on them. Otherwise, safety's going to make a play like Zibikowski. But good throw by Eric Ainge. A patient throw by Eric Ainge.
Peyton catches it for a gain of 23. First and goal Vols. From the 3. High formation. Foster driving. Touchdown.
Wow. And they will go for 2. They have not attempted one yet. Let's have a look at that. Does he get it? Does he cross the play into the goal line? All you have to do is get over the first part of the white paint. You don't need to get the ball in the end zone.
Ball has to cross it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell
I don't know. That's questionable.
Yeah, you're right. It's the ball. It's not the body. It's the ball. Again, they have not attempted a two-point play yet this year. Usually when they put it on the left hash, it usually means the quarterback rolls out to his right.
Two-point conversion to tie the game, and now play is stopped. Perhaps they're reviewing it.
Yeah, so they may have wanted to snap that ball earlier.
Previous play is under further review.
Yeah, I think Tennessee should have gotten that thing snapped earlier, don't you?
Yeah. Maybe some indecision on what to call in a two-point conversion since they hadn't attempted one.
But still is only the third quarter too, right? So I mean, you know, I would make sure you get the touchdown by getting the ball snapped. Let's have another look. It's just the ball.
Because he has his back to you, it's hard to tell where the ball is. Difficult to tell.
Yeah, nothing definitive.
Yeah,
there.
right. It's not indisputable.
Yeah, that he didn't get in, right? See, the ball's in his left hand. I would guess that probably crossed. Ball's in his left hand because he's actually sits on the goal line.
And here's the man who made the touchdown call right on the goal line at the top of the screen.
Yep.
And he sees the front side where we're seeing the back side.
Yep.
Decision has been made.
After review, the play stands is called on the field. Touchdown.
I think it's a low call again. Now, you know, in college football, you can ask to have the ball move to either hash. Tennessee, after touchdown, Tennessee has asked for the ball to move to the left hash. Oftentimes, they do that so you can use that 2/3 of the field to the quarterback's right to have him roll out, run or pass.
Two-point conversion to tie the game. Ainge is in the shotgun. He does roll to the right and throws to the end zone for the two-point conversion to Smith.
This Tennessee team has really come of age in this second half. Defense has played great all season, but the offensive team has really come alive. And think of some of the places in the SEC you have to go to play. You're not afraid of going to anybody's home and playing tough. Good target did Brett Smith make of himself.
Found a seam and just made himself a target,
right? Just kind of settled right down in there, and good throw by Ainge. And very happy Eric Ainge, as he should be.
Well, there hadn't been much joy on that ball sideline in recent weeks. And they're coming into Notre Dame Stadium to try to do what Notre Dame did to them last year down in Knoxville.
Remember, Notre Dame's offense last year only scored 10 points against the ball defense. They had a defensive touchdown, and this year they've scored twice.
And how big is Zibikowski's punt return for a touchdown at this moment?
Absolutely. There's a guy, Brett Smith's got a touchdown, caught a two-point play. Got a good ball game coming on. It's going to be a good fourth quarter.
5 minutes into the second quarter, Zibikowski's punt return for the touchdown put Notre Dame up 21-3. Tennessee scored 18 straight.
You know, and Tennessee could have collapsed. You know, they got a lot of turmoil, a lot of things going wrong with the team, and you know, give Phil Fulmer and the staff some credit. They kept this team together. They kept fighting, and tie ball game.
Will Hoyt kicks off. Horde from the 10. DJ Horde dropped around the 15-yard line. And the quarterbacks today.
Well, you know, Brady Quinn got off to that great start, but boy, Eric Ainge has had a real nice second half. Played well actually late in the second quarter too. So he started the year as a starting quarterback at Eric Ainge, and you know, he's played pretty doggone well today. And they're looking to have a starter, right? Just that one guy who can be your quarterback and leader for not only the rest of this season, but 2 more to come. Maurice Stovall's been pretty quiet, other than that, you know, the remarkable touchdown catch he made. He haven't thrown the ball his way much.
Only that was his only catch of the game. Notre Dame starts from the 25. Quinn under pressure. Nearly threw an interception. Woo! That was close for Brady Quinn as Simon had his hands on it.
Kevin Simon is, boy, you know, he said to us yesterday that this is like a bowl game for us, the way we've played. Number 2, the middle linebacker. Brady Quinn under duress again, trying to find a way in his pocket. A leaping gatherer, number 44. And a terrific play by the middle linebacker, Kevin Simon. Kevin Simon can blitz, he can play the run, he can play in pass coverage. He does it all.
Quinn throws it to nobody. Shelton stopped. And Quinn thought he was keep going. Did he slip? Let's go to Lewis.
Tom, as the Notre Dame offense continues to struggle, there was a passionate speech while they were on the bench a few moments ago given by Mike Haywood, the co-offensive coordinator and the running backs coach. He had his entire offense together, and he said it's up to each lineman to get their blocks. It's up to each receiver to run the right route. And he said it's up to Quinn to get the ball to the right receiver. He said we've been playing as individuals and not as a unit. We've got to get this offense on track. He looked right at Brady Quinn and said, you have to take over right now. Tom?
They're down in 10. Quinn, crossing route, complete. Samardzija. Samardzija still on his feet. To the 20-yard line and racing for the end zone. Stopped at the 2-yard line. Stewart chased him down, but Samardzija breaks free for 73 yards.
I think Maurice Stovall, again, had a good downfield block. Just a simple crossing route. But things aren't so simple once the ball gets in his hands. This guy's got surprisingly good speed. Because Antoine Stewart had a good angle on him to knock him out. The catch with the hands, doesn't use the body, picks up a block by Stovall. Second big key block by Stovall on a long pass reception.
And that catch made him the 6th Notre Dame player to have over 50 catches in a season. It was a big one. It gets him first and goal at the 2. Thomas tried to change direction, slapped down at the 5-yard line.
That's tough sledding in there. I don't think you run it in against Tennessee. Not up the middle, at least. Watch the inside penetration, and Mahalona inside, just kind of burying. Mahalona was the first guy there, then Morley.
First time that the Irish have been in the red zone today.
Well, they've been in 31 times prior, and they've gotten 24 touchdowns, so they're awfully efficient in it.
After the loss on the play, it's second and goal from the 5.
Oh, no chance.
Quinn hit.
It's amazing he hung on to the ball.
I don't know how he did. Sacked by Jason Mitchell.
I tell you, that's a heck of a play by Brady Quinn just to be able to hang on to this ball. Jason Mitchell, number 35, in his face immediately. Watch number 35. Perfectly timed blitzed. Right up the middle, right behind the center. John Sullivan didn't even see him. I'm not even sure it was John Sullivan's guy, but good timed blitz by Jason Mitchell.
And a 7-yard loss. Stops the clock with 2 seconds.
On the defense in the neutral zone.
Offside penalty.
92, half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
Justin Harrell offside, cost them the big play. And once the clock is restarted, as it is, it'll bring the third quarter to a close. Here's the key offside.
The city was in the neutral zone.
In the neutral zone, right. So the third quarter comes to a close. Second down and goal for the Irish when the fourth quarter starts. We'll be back to Notre Dame Stadium after this from your local station.
Quickly, they call the infraction on him. That was the penalty, and it prevented really what would have been a third and about 8 yards. Instead, it's second and goal. So a critical mistake by Justin Harrell, and gives the Irish a shot to take a lead.
Today's game brought to you by Comcast. We start the fourth quarter with the Irish second and goal from the 2. Fake to Thomas. Quinn scrambles forward and makes it back to the line of scrimmage. The ball down.
Ball may have come out. And the Irish
Notre
recovered.
Dame got it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Brady Quinn is taking a couple of shots, and he took one right there. Man, wow. This is as good a defense as I've seen this year, too. Yeah, they're trying to get Schwab in the flat. He's not available. There's the ball out.
Raked
sure.
out, yep.
Good defensive play.
Jason Mitchell.
A bunch of blue jerseys there. I think it was Stevenson, 74, or Sullivan who made the recovery.
Brady Quinn checks his wristband for the play call. It's 3rd and goal now from the 4-yard line.
Remember, Jeff Samardzija has caught a touchdown in 7 straight games. And he's right there.
Blitz coming. Short drop. Samardzija has it. Has a block from Stovall for the touchdown.
Well, Tom, you know, he just becomes a big old running back. You know, you want your running backs in the open field. Well, give it to your 6'5", 216-pound wide receiver / running back. A quick little screen. That's the 3rd time they've run it. Once it was a backward pass for a fumble, but he catches that one and pulls his way to the end zone in an Irish lead.
Fitzpatrick extra point is good. Samardzija extends his Notre Dame record with the touchdown reception in 8 straight games.
Well, I'll tell you, Charlie Weiss knows how to use his people, and this is a guy that this is just simply, hey, our guys, our receivers are too big for these defensive backs. Just give them a chance to run after the catch and pull your way to the end zone.
He has come through big time today. The last touchdown catch, his 12th of the season, which sets the Notre Dame record, breaking the record of 11 by Derek Mays set back in 1994. And for the Notre Dame offense, their first offensive touchdown since 5 minutes were left in the first quarter.
Samardzija over 125 yards in receptions on 7 catches and that critical touchdown.
Fitzpatrick with the kickoff. Yancey takes it at about the 7. Runs it out to the 29-yard line. And Jeff Samardzija, what a season he is having, epitomized by that last drive. 3rd down, uses a block from Stovall, gets down the sideline for the big play, giving the Irish a 1st and goal. Helped by penalty, they come to 3rd and goal, and it's Samardzija that takes the pass from Quinn and blasts into the end zone for the touchdown. Jeff Samardzija.
You know, now for Eric Ainge, this is where quarterbacks really earn the respect of their teammates. On the road, down by 7 in the 4th quarter, trying to bring your team back.
Fakes and then rolls. Ainge thought about running, instead throws it to the grass. Phaeton, I guess, was the closest man, and well defended by Ndukwe. And here's a look at our speed pass game summary.
Brady Quinn got off to a fast start, just kind of methodical for a while, then threw his 3rd touchdown pass. Zibikowski in the punt return, his 2nd of the year. And Tennessee's defense has been phenomenal.
But the one big play to Samardzija gave him the 1st and goal, and they were able to get it in on 3rd down and have a 7-point lead. 28-21 Irish. Blitz comes from Notre Dame. Tennessee picks it up, giving Ainge a chance to complete it, and he does to Swain.
Oh boy, what an adjustment by Jason Swain.
23-yard gain.
You know, this is one of those kind of underthrown balls, and the receiver sees it, the defensive back can't, or he sees it too late, and you just go up and make that adjustment when it's in the air. The reason it didn't have a lot, it was probably underthrown. There was somebody in the face of Eric Ainge.
Corey Mays came on a blitz. They picked it up, giving him time to throw. Swain made the catch. At the Irish 49. Foster, the workhorse, grinds it out just short of the 40-yard line where he's knocked down by Zibikowski.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with Arian Foster, the way he's been running it. He's been getting those tough yards inside from tackle to tackle when they needed them. But he bounced a few outside. Had a couple of long runs and way over 100 yards now. There's 123 yards in the day.
2nd down and 3. There's Foster again. Zibikowski really got there in a hurry. Brandon Hoyt, Corey Mays.
Tennessee's defense coming up with the third down play. They've been awfully good in third down defense in the third quarter. Teams have only converted 10% of the time.
Fourth quarter. Who digs that stuff up?
Well, I've been working. I stay up late. They've been a good fourth quarter, third down defensive team.
Well, they'll need one here. Third down, a yard.
I suspect we might see Mr. Foster.
You will. And Foster across that yellow line. Let's see where they mark it. The foot, though, looks short, where they're marking it short of the yellow line. Well, that's where the ball is when his knee is down, but they'll back it up from where he had it on the ground, and they'll have to measure.
Good block on the right side. Albert Toina, right tackle, 72.
I don't think they got a very generous spot on the football, did they?
Well, there's, you see the yellow line now?
Well, his knee's down there.
Knee's down.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah.
It was correct. That gave us a good angle of it.
Tired of being wrong the whole time?
Obviously not. Still, it's a moot point.
Indeed. Well, good. Again, a good, tough, short yardage run by Arian Foster. This is the best Tennessee's offense has looked in the last 4 games, huh? Last from about mid-second quarter on.
Well, given a lift by their defense.
Oh, yeah.
First down, spot the ball. Notre Dame 39. Ames, first down pass. Pressure coming backside. He was able to get rid of it before it got there. Intended for his fullback, Corey Anderson. And that was close to disaster for Ames, as Brandon Hoyt was bearing down on him from the blind side.
You got some guys coming in here off the backside. Again, he just hurdled the block and barely got that ball off. But I thought Corey Anderson had a chance of catching it. Looked like, he's the fullback out of the backfield. He has 11 catches on the year, but good blitz by Brandon Hoyt.
Throws an interception, picked off by Wooden. And a convoy down the sideline.
Ambrose Wooden has made significant plays for the Irish all season long. From the opening game to just that interception, you see, an absolutely flabbergasted Philip Fulmer.
And Wooden then brings it 41 yards on the return, intended for Hannon.
He just wasn't expecting that double zone coverage. Ambrose Wooden, he has that short zone. He releases the receiver to the deep guy, Zibikowski, and falls right back into the throw. That's his area, the short zone. And he covered it pretty doggone well.
And Ainge never saw him break off and step right into that passing lane, as Hannon continued on a couple of steps downfield. So it's up to that Tennessee defense now to try to stop Notre Dame. Darius Walker pulled down by Gaither. Eric Haynes, after throwing the interception, getting blasted around a couple times.
Nothing worse. Nothing worse. The only worse reaction than that was Philip Fulmer's.
Rough year for Philip Fulmer and the Vols. Second interception for Wooden. Big play for the Irish defense. Second down and 9. Pointing, changing things, got the snap away. And a one-handed juggling catch by Anthony Fasano.
Oh my. Roommate to roommate. He had some steam on it. Put a neck brace on after that injury, did Fasano.
That's a gain of 10, Pat.
One-handed stab, just a fireball. You've seen Samardzija do it. You've seen Fasano do it. Maurice Stovall with a real good touchdown catch. A good block by Maurice Stovall. So that's at least 3 of them.
Boy, yeah, Things happen when your wide receivers make blocks downfield. Brady Quinn says, "Woo." How did he make that catch? He might have to buy his roommate a pizza or something tonight. Walker dancing to no avail. Jason Hall not fooled by the antics of Darius Walker.
Jason Hall's had a good year for the Volunteers, hadn't he? And we had a chance to talk to him this week. You know, great high school athlete. You know, did everything. Played lacrosse, played basketball, ran track. Actually ran the 100 meters just to kind of work on his speed.
Well, the great Jim Brown was a lacrosse player as well as All-American football player at Syracuse, All-American in both sports, and he's watched Jim Brown play both football and lacrosse. Pretty good role model for the playing field. Rushing yards only 41 today for the Irish.
UT is ranked 5th in the country in rushing defense.
Quinn chased, escapes, and slides down. Fans want a penalty, but I think he slid into the defender, knocking him off his feet. That's not a penalty.
You know, he is so strong, Brady Quinn. Our research team has really looked at every single play this year. He's avoided about 5 sacks per game. That's not a penalty. It's a good no call. But he's just such a strong guy, 6'4", 230 pounds, you know, presence in the pocket, but really, really strong as well. So you see how, you know, he bench presses, he can squat it, he can clean and jerk. I'm not sure what the clean and jerk is, Tom, but I know it's something these guys do these days. But I want to tell you, this is one big old guy who's just becoming a, you know, he's had an All-American season, really.
Quinn's pass to Stovall. Immediately dropped by Wade, but the pass complete. About a 5-yard gain. And so 4th down. And Fitzpatrick will come on to attempt a field goal.
Guess who's holding? Who'd you have holding?
How about Samardzija? Strong hands.
Yeah, no, really.
Fitzpatrick has hit 7 of 9 field goal attempts this season. There's Samardzija, the holder.
A pair of hands in college football. I want to see him.
36-yard attempt. Fitzpatrick's boot on its way, and it is good. So Notre Dame turns the interception by Wooden into a field goal to extend their lead to 10. Fitzpatrick makes good out of the hold from Samardzija. And with 7:47 to go, it's a 10-point Irish lead. Comcast Digital Cable with HD TV, your place for high-definition sports programming. By Lincoln Financial Group, providing powerful financial resources to help you say, hello, future. And by Adidas Basketball. Impossible is nothing. Tennessee Notre Dame brought to you by Comcast, and the Irish just upping their lead to 10, 31-21. Fitzpatrick to kick off. David Yancey deep for the Vols. Yancey, a couple yards deep, will come out with it. Met and dropped at the 17-yard line, where Tennessee will take over. As we take a look at our Comcast defensive play of the game.
Which one are you going to choose, Tom?
How about Ambrose Wooden?
Yeah, that's a pretty good choice. Ambrose Wooden, who has been really played solidly all season long with the biggest defensive play of this game thus far for the Irish. They turned that interception into 3 points and a 10-point spread. There's a guy, we interviewed him a couple weeks ago, and he walked into the room. You talk about a guy lighting up a room, and just a brilliant guy, a good guy to talk to, really good student. And he was talking about, hey, how school comes at you just like football does here. It's tough in the classroom and on the athletic field for him.
Delay a game penalty. That's not good after.
Yeah, it's, you know.
Before the snap, dead ball, delay a game, number 10 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Which shouldn't happen after a return of a kick, right?
Right. Tennessee came back to tie it, but then Quinn and the Irish.
Look at Samardzija up there just saying, give me one more shot, one more chance, please. He's going to Washington to lobby as a future career.
Ainge with a fake. Given time, his pass nearly picked off by Wooden again. Phaeton, the intended receiver.
Ambrose Wooden playing that zone defense. Nearly. Well, if he didn't get his hand on it, he catches it and scores, right?
Yep. Second down and 15 upcoming for the Volunteers.
With Ambrose Wood, he had his backpack with him. Remember, he said half his backpack was all books, the other half was his playbook.
Why did the clock run?
After an incomplete pass, it shouldn't.
Assume that they caught it. Now they've got to figure out how much time to put back.
Please reset the clock to 7 minutes and 15 seconds. 7 minutes, 15 seconds.
He's much good and right, though. Huh?
Looks like they got actually shorted a bit on the time. It seemed like more time than that had ticked off. Well, here we can see.
Well, 7:36, right? Indeed, you're right.
Yeah, 35. Ainge's pass from defending for Notre Dame knocks it away, intended again for C.J. Phaeton.
Yeah, Maurice Crum's father was a linebacker at Miami, and he grades them every week after a game. And, you know, he's going to give him a pretty good grade for this game. His dad actually sits at home, or if he's here, with a pencil and pad and grades every play of Maurice Crum, his son.
And he should know he was an All-American linebacker, as you said, at Miami. Third down, 15 for Tennessee. Irish showing blitz. They back out of the blitz, but Ainge he nearly threw an interception. Nearly sacked. He might be ruled in the grasp. It was Derek Landry. Ainge arguing his case. There's a penalty marker down.
Derek Landry, we talked to him yesterday. It's going to be
intentional grounding.
It is grounding.
Number 10 of the offense. Lost it down at the spot of the foul. Fourth down.
He nearly threw it right to a Notre Dame defensive player.
Okay, you know, in here, here's a tackle area where you under duress, no receiver in the neighborhood. Yeah, you're right. Almost threw it to Victor Abiamiri. And now the Irish are going to get the ball again, and this time in excellent field position. You got to punt the ball away to Tom Zbikowski.
Colquitt at the back of his end zone. Pressure on him. He kicks it very high, not too deep. Zbikowski finds another seam. Zbikowski caught from behind at the 20-yard line. He was about to go one-on-one with Colquitt again, and you know who was going to win that battle? 42-yard punt, then Zbikowski returns it 27 yards.
You know, it's not too often to see strong safety types with this kind of moves and power. I mean, he's very, very decisive. You know, he makes his decision and he just goes.
Green caught him from behind to save a touchdown.
Good move there. Talked about him playing some high school running back, some high school quarterback, Golden Glove boxer.
So great field position for Notre Dame at the 20-yard line of Tennessee. Threatening to send the Vols down to their fourth consecutive loss. Thomas was twisted around and twisted forward Marvin Mitchell, the tackle. Ainge on the phone. But if Notre Dame scores here, time will be running short for the Vols. We'll tick down inside 6.5 minutes.
Well, we talked about Charlie Weis and all the different kinds of scenarios he thinks about, and not quite there yet, but they have what they call their 4-minute offense, kind of with a 10-point lead or something like this, where they really have 21 plays, separate plays, just for their last 4-minute offense protecting the lead. Most of them kind of runs, play action, possession passes.
Thomas, and a nice move at the line of scrimmage. Bursts free inside the 10-yard line.
You know, while Darius Walker kind of lets things settle in before he gets going, Travis Thomas just takes off. Different style, different kind of runner. Charlie likes him for different reasons, but the one thing about Travis Thomas, he says, hey, he'll take it up in the hole and break some tackles, just as he did there.
Darius Walker watching from the sideline. Thomas remains in the game. First down and goal from the Tennessee 8. Slipped did Thomas, and given an extra half second to recover. Tennessee is all over him.
We talked about all the things that Brady Quinn is doing well. Now we're just talking about managing the game. That ball wasn't snapped until there's 1 second left in the clock, so he's doing everything. He's certainly throwing the ball a heck of a lot better. He's actually running the ball as a designed runner, sometimes with scrambles. But I think most importantly, Tom, the rising confidence, the way he manages the game and handles himself. And Charlie Weis says, I want my quarterback, everybody to look in his eyes and know he's our guy.
Well, just talking to Brady Quinn yesterday, he was much more relaxed, much more confident. No other way to say it than in previous years. Of course, success has something to do with that. Throw the fade for Samardzija. Out of bounds.
Why am I surprised when he misses me?
Incomplete pass intended for Samardzija against Inky Johnson.
Kind of a lazy little fade. Yeah, you know, he had it momentarily. Then Johnson got,
give
did a
him
good job.
He raked it free.
Good play by Inky. Charlie Weis was saying yesterday, you know, Inky Johnson is going to be player of the game for us or for them, and he's played pretty doggone well. Yeah, he knows how close he was. Brady Quinn knows how close he was to his 4th touchdown pass of the day.
Good play, out of the way. Complete to Pisano. Thrown back by Gaither and others in the Tennessee defense. Mitchell seemed to be a bit shaken up. It's Xavier Mitchell.
Last tackle made by Gaither.
Xavier Mitchell now walking off the field.
4th and goal. Why wouldn't he kick the field goal?
That seems to be some indecision here.
Not on his part. If he's one thing, he's decisive. Charlie Weis I'm talking about. Up by 10. He figured
they're going to let the clock tick away and then call a timeout and attempt the field goal, looks like. And Quinn had it timed perfectly, calls the timeout, and lets some seconds tick away, and clock stops at 4:06. We'll take a break here, 4:06. Irish trying to add to their lead. .406 to go, 31-21 Notre Dame, and the Irish lined up to attempt a field goal, trying to extend their lead to 13. Fitzpatrick will attempt it from 28 yards. Puts it up, and it is good. So a 28-yard field goal by DJ Fitzpatrick, but a flag down.
Offsides, number 98 on the defense. The penalty will be declined. Field goal good.
Paris Harrelson offside. declined by Notre Dame. So it's 34-21. Tennessee comes back to tie the game, and then Notre Dame reels off 13 points in a row.
Well, at 34 points, you want to see how they got him? Right away, this is Fasano. Gets in the end zone for the very first time this year. Leaping Lena, and then the tall, long one to Maurice Stovall. And then for the second time this year, Tom Zbikowski takes it right up the gut on a punt return for a touchdown. And then Samardzija for the 8th straight game gets the ball in the end zone. So they've done it a bunch of different ways, special teams, through the air.
Kind of odd for the Notre Dame offense. Touchdowns their first 2 possessions, then stopped 7 straight times and responded with a touchdown and 2 field goals. Here's Morley returning the kick. And he's down at the 20-yard line.
But, you know, even when the Irish seem to have a slow day offensively, they've scored 34 points.
The most scored on Tennessee this season.
Yeah, against a really good team. Yeah. This is a team that's averaging, Notre Dame's averaging 38 points a game. So, you know, either you're going to have to figure out a way to score 30 or more points to beat this Notre Dame team this season or in a bowl game, or you have to do what they did to USC, slow it down. Just control the clock, just don't let them have as many possessions.
They just can play so many different ways. Yeah. And they're so unpredictable. How do you prepare for that?
You know, they've got a couple different styles. It's like playing, you know, the 7 Faces of Eve. You just don't exactly know what you're going to get.
Haynes chased. And slides out of bounds. Actually stayed inbounds. Clock continues to roll.
They need to be up in the line of scrimmage in the hurry-up offense, which he's directing right now.
Better off not sliding, but just go ahead and running out of bounds, stopping the clock. Right into the arms of Zbikowski. Tom Zbikowski, he's determined to make the end zone, and he scores the touchdown.
Decision and a poor throw. And Zbikowski right there, the only one who was wide open, really. I mean, you said determined, but, you know, as soon as he got that ball in his hands, he's thinking, hey, I'm thinking goal line. And he's got a nose for the goal line, but it starts at about the 30-yard line.
His second touchdown of the game.
Yeah, the game.
33 yards.
Well, he touched it, probably 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. It's Patrick. Extra point. Hooks. And goes through.
Well, scored last week, or the last game, an interception return and 2 touchdowns today.
Zbikowski having a big day, and so are the Irish. Tom Zbikowski, one of the stars for the Irish today. Punt return touchdown, interception return touchdown.
Touched the ball 4 times and has 2 scores. Is that right?
That's a pretty good percentage.
20 points by Notre Dame in that 4th quarter.
Morley settles under the Fitzpatrick kick. Breaks it to the outside. Pretty good return beyond the 30-yard line, a return of 31 yards.
Let's go back to that touchdown. This is Swain up here. What he's trying to do, just run a square in. But you know what? Big old number 9, Zbikowski reads it, jumps the route. The ball's underthrown. He catches it, and then that's where his nose for the goal line is, right there at the 30-yard line. That's when he starts sensing, hey, I'm going to get this ball in the end zone. And it's frustrating for a quarterback to throw the interception, but then you miss the tackle as well. But you know what? I think they did the right thing hanging in there with Eric Ainge. You got to live through this. If he's going to be a really good SEC quarterback, you got to live through these moments. He's had some good ones.
Draw play handoff. Foster slips. Zibikowski today, Pat, prior to this season had 1 career touchdown, and he has 4 already this year. 2 punt returns, 2 interception returns. It's turning into a point maker.
Well, you just sense when he gets the ball in his hands that he's certainly not going to go down easily. He's just one tough guy, and you're going to have to get your shoulder pads and helmets and arms around him. Otherwise, he's just going to break some tackles.
Ainge. Ndukwe nearly picked it off. Cutting in front of Phaeton again.
It's the best I've seen Ndukwe play. We've been talking about Chinadu Ndukwe being a good red zone defender. That timed that jump absolutely perfectly.
Well, the Irish secondary, much maligned before the season began, have really proven themselves throughout the course of this season, haven't they?
Absolutely. Mike Richardson's played, their number 30's played really stellarly. 3 interceptions on the year, some good blitzes, and Ambrose Wooden, I think, has been the biggest surprise of all.
Stellarly a word?
I think so. It is now.
Ainge finds Cannon. Wouldn't hit him right away.
You talk about Ndukwe, who's played so well. He and Brady Quinn, high school teammates, and he was a receiver for Brady. Caught 150 passes from Brady Quinn in high school.
And he says Brady now is just running around having fun, making plays like he did in high school.
Doing exactly what we expected.
So on 4th down, Tennessee in punt formation. David Grimes is deep this time. Eighth punt of the day for Colquitt. Grimes will let it bounce. And down just short of the 20-yard line. Well, a lot of firsts this year for Notre Dame in this sort of dramatic turnaround. The last time they won the national title, 88, the Heisman 87. Finished in the top 10 in 93. They could do it this year. And a bowl victory 94. With the victory today, they'll keep their drive for the BCS alive. They need to have 9 wins and finish in the top 12 in the BCS standings. And they may need some help from some other defeats of those in front of them. David Wolke in at quarterback, replacing Brady Quinn. Hands off to Swap.
Well, Tom, thinking back about that graphic, I mean, you could make some legitimate argument that Brady Quinn should be considered for the Heisman race this year. He's had that kind of year, right?
Yes.
They'll be in a bowl game. Should finish a top 10 in my estimation. And the way they're playing, they're going to be tough to beat in a bowl game. So they're going to have a. And that guy right there may be the leading Heisman, candidate next year in preseason.
Meanwhile, his replacement, David Wolke, getting a chance to play against the Vols. Wolke, born in Nashville, Smyrna High School, and directing Notre Dame over the last couple of minutes. Schwab again as we roll inside 45 seconds. Notre Dame built a big lead. Tennessee behind Philip Fulmer, and that stout defense managed to tie the game, and then Notre Dame exploded to win it going away. They did it with offense, defense, and special teams today.
Indeed, Tom. And the only thing for Phil Fulmer is they had that brutal SEC schedule. It gets a little bit easier the last 3 weeks for them, last 3 games.
Notre Dame will close out, Tennessee will close out against Memphis, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. Wolke takes a knee. Brady Quinn will walk out to exchange greetings. Charlie Weiss gets a shower.
Hey, first time I've seen it.
Yeah. That wasn't from the rain. And Philip Fulmer and Charlie Weiss. Philip Fulmer somewhat under fire. Charlie Weiss has it all going for him at the moment, just getting the 10-year contract extension. There's the shower. Ooh, cold water. He didn't even flinch. He's a tough New Jersey guy.
In 8 years here doing these games, I've never seen, after a win, the coach getting showered.
Let's go down to Lewis.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot. Coach, you look a little cold after that hot game you had.
Yeah, I'm a little wet.
You know, you really saw the fear of this Tennessee team as you had a tie at 21-all, then you roll off 20 straight in the fourth quarter. What does it say to you about this club?
Well, I mean, big play was that route to Jeff on the under route on 3rd and 10, because the momentum had, flipped all Tennessee's way. But that got us the game back under control, and, thankfully it did.
At one moment, your co-offensive coordinator gave Brady Quinn the mandate that he had to take over this game, and that's exactly what you expect from him at this time, don't you?
Yeah, he's a good football player. Even when you're playing against a good defense, not every play is going to work, and he made enough plays for us to win today.
And just how difficult was that Tennessee defense for you today?
They're a good football team. Let me tell you, they're a good football team. We know it, and they know it.
All right, Coach, thanks so much. We'll swing over here and get Tom Zbikowski and Jeff Samardzija. Guys, big game for you today. First of all, talk about the touchdowns that you had, one on special teams and then one on defense.
The punt return was wide open. The guys did a great job. I didn't even have to make any moves. I just sprinted as hard as I could, found that end zone, just took it as fast as I could.
Tom, explain to me what it's like to experience a season like you have here. You went through some moments a few years ago, and now this is almost magical, I imagine.
It's been great, especially 2-0 now at home. We're saying it's a new season. Getting 2 wins for the fans here. They've supported us all year.
Take me through that last pick and the touchdown, the punt return, actually. Tell me about that.
The punt return, like I said before, is just a great job, blocking. The interception, we had a great call. It had me sitting just in the hole, just threw it right to me, and then, my guys did a good job blocking.
All right, thanks. Jeff, 8 straight games with a touchdown. Talk to me about what this is like for you. You're a guy that seems to just love to be in the trenches and just do whatever you can to help the team.
Yeah, anytime you get out there, get some first downs and stuff, and get out there and help the team, when you get a chance to make a big play, step up. And then anytime you can get on the sidelines and watch your boy make plays like Tommy did, I live with him every day, see him every day. You can't be more prouder than a guy like that making big plays for the team. So, but I think the offense had a little up and down game. But I think when that paid off, when we had to get it done, we got it done.
Jeff, one of these days you're going to be posed with a big question. You're 8-1 as a starting pitcher here at Notre Dame. One of these days it's going to be between this. Here, hold on to that. It could be between that and making a decision about this. You have any idea? I know you're just a junior, but where's your heart? What do you love the most?
I love just competing, period. Whether it's out on this great atmosphere, there's nothing that beats Notre Dame Stadium on a Saturday, period. Or it's out on the mound pitching, as long as I'm out there competing, doing it for this great university and the guys that are on my team on both sports, it's what it's all about, the guys you play with and the guys you go out and bleed with. And when you get victories like this, it all pays off, so it feels good.
Well, congratulations. All right,
thank you.
Okay, Tom.
All right, Lewis, and thinking back to that halftime feature, I bet his dad is awful happy today as well.
Should be.
As Notre Dame goes up to the locker room, we recognize our Chevrolet players of the game. Adrian Foster of Tennessee rushed for 125 yards, and Brady Quinn, who passed for nearly 303 touchdowns today. In recognition of their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American Revolution. Well, Notre Dame sputtered for a while on offense, but the special teams and the defense come through and beat a very tough Tennessee team.
Well, we've talked about how good they've been on offense for really the whole season long, but this defense, Notre Dame defense, is coming along, okay, and the special teams continue to grow, so they can win 3 different ways. And
for Tennessee, a bitter pill as they lose their 4th straight and continue to struggle, especially offensively, and they fall to Notre Dame 41-21. Tomorrow, beginning at 2 Eastern on NBC, the best runners from around the globe gather in the Big Apple for the ING New York City Marathon, followed by Nextel Cup racing from Texas at 3 Eastern. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, your local news, then at 8/7 Central, it's the most outrageous live TV moments 3, followed by Law & Order SVU and Law & Order only on NBC. So for Pat Hayden and Lewis Johnson, Tom Hammond saying so long from Notre Dame Stadium. You've been watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented today by Comcast. So long, everybody.